Hello, Great Rain. Hello. I just poured a lot of recycled wax. Audio is off? Oh yeah, no, someone wanted something from me. My brother. I was muted. Okay, guess we're doing a short one today. A really short one. Especially since there doesn't seem to be many people in. It's okay. I still don't feel very well. So, how are you? How are you? The bird milk. I'm gonna give you the bird milk treatment. Um. Oh yeah, I promised. All right. I promised. Bird milk. Yeah, it's a Polish sweet. It's called bird milk. I can show it to you again if you want. Where is it? This is bird milk. This sweet is called bird milk. That is on the screen right now. It's like this fluffy, milky thing covered in thin layer of chocolate. See? Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I promised that tipster person that I'd react to his debate, so I guess we're gonna. Oh, why does this keep turning itself on over and over again? I keep turning this off and it just keeps coming back.
I
Alright,
feel
we're
like we're drift.
gonna listen to Tipster's trans debate. Tipster was here yesterday. He had a debate, the trans rights debate, 1 year ago. I guess I'm gonna watch some of it. Not sure if I'm gonna watch the full 57 minutes, but we're gonna watch some of it. Oh my gosh. I do mind. Uh, yeah, 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 they are. Okay, maybe I'll be playing a game while doing it. What happened? What happened? Trans rights. Since I'm a trans streamer, I have to do like the trans rights, don't I? Don't I have to? Family dispute. Oh no. That does suck. I'm sorry to hear. Oh gosh. Well, that does sound pretty horrible. Alright, let's see what this debate is all about. Will we play Final Fantasy
I
Tactics?
feel like we're drifting off apart from the
A little
transgender
bit, a little
issue.
bit.
But
I would agree.
I guess since you brought up gay people, like, how do you feel about gay people?
Gay
You
people
you cool with
are
gay people?
happy.
So it's not that I don't like them or I hate them. I
Okay.
just believe that men and women were put on this earth to be with the opposite gender. When you go to have a child, a male and a female have a child, not a
I
male.
wonder if that also in this person applies to trans woman and a man. Lucy, have you colored something? No, I don't have estrogen. I don't have estrogen. I haven't had estrogen for 4 or 5 years. Years. for 4 or 5 days now, and I'm feeling quite out of shape. So if it's with a trans woman, is it still Adam and Steve, or is it Adam and Eve then?
Male and a male, not a female and a female. You can adopt, but that also is a mental condition, like you said. But I still
So
believe it
you
is
so
also
you think gay people are
illness.
mentally ill?
To a certain extent, not like schizophrenic level.
Yikes.
No, no, no,
That's
no, no, no.
that's gotta be a
Don't.
yikes for
Calm
me,
down.
dude.
Jesus, I thought that was from... What a weird intro.
Possible that
So now I will... I'm just gonna put it out there. I would never in a million years react to someone saying something with yikes. I don't know, it's just weird. Sorry, I've been having a full time, Lucy. I hope your daughter gets his ass in gear and gets the prescription for you. I hope so as well.
it wasn't. It may have been other.
Fantastic in the chat says, "Hey, remember when you called someone transphobic for saying choosing to chop their genitals off is delusional? Damn, that sucks." And the laugh track. Yeah, I did say that because I do believe that Poncho is transphobic because I don't think that trans people are delusional. I think they suffer from gender dysphoria, and I think that the entire scientific community, the entire medical community, the entire academic community all agree that seeking out gender affirming care is the way that you deal with that. So I'm sorry if you live in a world of delusion and you don't believe that, but that's the reality of it. So you can kindly see yourself out of my chat and go fuck yourself. We deal in reality here, not in your little, feels over reels like mindset.
As I'm sure you do and have, and
I deal with...
other people that.
I actually deal in feels over reels. Because I'm a very emotional person. So I basically always operate in feels over reels. That is my modus operandi. What is this? Word skill used to put enemy asleep with boring stories. What a skill. Speak with monsters and use word skill even if not a mediator. When enemy becomes terminal, force them into becoming allies. Train. Oh my gosh. This job has very funny skills. Death sentence. Word skill foretells the enemy's death. Word skill. Word salad. Hold on. Equip gun. Damn. Talk no jutsu. Sometimes the feels can agree with the reals. They initialize where the one confuses the feels for reals. I sometimes confuse the feels for the reals. Unfortunately. Oh wow, this is great actually. Holy crap, this is a great spell. Oh wow. Oh, but unfortunately I've already maxed the white mage job. Yeah? You think so? I'm sorry. I'm very quietly checking out skills.
maybe not believe or are agnostic or whatever. They have all kinds of questions.
Hey, Pandastic, I got a question for you. You want to talk about it? Seems like you
wanna-
have a lot to say. Would you like to talk about it?
I want to talk about it. Yeah, I have.
Why don't you come on stream and tell me what you actually think
I want to
about it?
come on stream. Yeah, I'm coming on.
You
I'm-
can't magically. Well, again, come on stream. We can talk about it.
I'm gonna
Let's
come
talk
on.
about it.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Can one of the
on.
mods do the Discord command so they can join the Discord?
I'm joining the Discord.
And then they can talk about it.
I actually cannot join any more Discords. I don't have Nitro, and I've passed the limit, so I cannot. I will not be able to debate Tipster tonight.
One of the mods do the Discord command. Let them join. I'm interested to see how this goes.
What them eat
Are you
cake.
joining? Let me check the Discord. Let's see if they're
What
joining.
them eat cake.
Okay, they did join. In case you guys missed it, there's somebody who's a Poncho fan in my chat who's interested in potentially having a conversation.
I'm a Poncho fan, even though I have no clue. Oh, thank you for the $15, fake Alec Hal Parker. Money for the lady so she can feel better. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm a fan of Poncho, even though I have no clue who Poncho is. I'm noticing a distinct lack of the giggle chord on the Discord bar. Just saying. Who is this? On air. Tipsters community. Gayfish.
So we're waiting to see if they join the Discord server. I did see if we go to where are they at? Who joined? Right here.
I joined.
I did see that they did join. I'm waiting for them to type in the general chat. Okay, chat, they are finally here. They are finally here. Okay,
What's with the
we
sound
can get
effects?
this fucking show on the road. All right,
What's
let me
with
go
the
ahead
sound
and
effects? Come on.
let's get them
Down.
going. There they are. Okay, chat, here we go. Here
Where are
go,
we going?
chat. I'm gonna bring them in right now. Hello, is this Pandastic? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, I
By the way,
do want to try and
before we
keep
get
it-
before we get
Oh.
started, how old are you?
So I am
Thanks.
18. Yes,
Okay.
young. I know.
Oh my
But-
god. He says he's 18, but he sounds like 47. Am I being mean? It's okay. It's a transphobe. Saying that transphobes sound like they're 27 is like okay or something. What the hell? Why are the enemies so strong?
Let me tell you, I grew up in a Christian household. I was taught
What
different,
the
so I
hell?
may have different views. I do not want to let this get out of hand.
Okay,
I want-
fair enough. Yeah,
I
we're
want
just having
this.
a conversation.
I
We're
want
just
this
having
to
a
get out
So,
of hand.
real quick, I understand. I will, real quick, apologize. What I said when I first came into the stream shouldn't have been the first thing I came into the stream and said. I apologize for that.
What did you say again?
I brought up the whole poncho thing,
Oh, but that's fine. That's fine, dude. No, not a
Yeah.
problem.
but if
It is
you
a
will
big
allow me,
problem.
I would like to start. But if you would like to start,
Yeah,
You
just
may.
kind of, say whatever you want. Tell us kind of like what your stance is, why you feel that
Okay.
way, etc.
when I look at like the whole trans thing,
Okay.
gender dysmorphia, gender dysphoria
It's,
is
it's dysphoria.
a real
Just for the record, it's dysphoria.
okay. It is a real thing. I'm not
I
saying
think
that
that
is
trans people
false.
are
I'm saying the
abominations on
whole
God's green earth. And
thing where people are telling them they need to fully embrace that to accept themselves. If you
Okay.
see where this, do you see where I'm going with this?
So
No.
you think that gender dysphoria does exist? It is something that people,
It is
deal
100% yes.
but you
But
don't think
also-
that gender affirming care is the way to deal with it.
Yes.
Is that correct?
to deal with it is to
Yes and no.
pray the
Um,
trans away. Please pray.
When
away.
I look at like different mental conditions like like gender dysphoria and depression and how that plays into gender dysphoria, I see a mental illness, or because a mental illness is a confusion of the brain, so is a mental condition like autism.
True.
Okay.
I'm an autistic.
And
I don't have. I'm not on the spectrum.
when I watched Pancho's video on this, he said he kind of compared it to schizophrenia, which I thought was
What? Okay, that's weird. Okay, let's do like a mission. A story mission. Hello, Facing Pharma. How are you? What brings you to this very humble little stream, which is gonna be very short? I apologize for that, but you know what? Sometimes short things are the sweet things. And I just happen to be estrogen deprived and very not well feeling. I don't see anyone from Bart Company. Yes, they did. It doesn't even look like there was a fight, something strange. I'll check it out, see you later. Where? The slums over there, they shouldn't attract attention. Alright, be careful. Right, leave it to me. Oh, are you disappointed? I'm reacting to a 1 year ago tipster debate because he asked me to yesterday. Why is President Sunday reacting to waterfall test? Oh, a gun. Damn. Well, what can I say? I've met someone with schizophrenia. Actually, turns out that my childhood friend was diagnosed with schizophrenia with paranoia. Oh, really? How many viewers does he have right now? How many viewers are watching President Sunday right now? $235. That's pretty respectable. Not as good as me though. I've got 4 people. And as you know, 4 is better than 235 every time. He's late, too late. Think Mustadia was caught? Who are you asking? Are you asking me, the person playing the game? Hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Philippe August. Who are you? I see that once again you chose me over your second favorite streamer, DBZ, who's I think streaming right now. Bring him. Oh. Sorry, Ramza. Are you okay, Mustadio? That's far enough. Don't move any closer. So you're Rudvik. Let Mustadio go. Give me the holy stone, then you can have him back. Come on, where did you hide it? Talk. Won't talk, huh? Even after seeing this? Father, are you okay? I'm alright. Don't give him the holy stone. Put him in there. Ready to confess now? Inside the chimney at Ramza's feet. Well then, you pick it up if you want to save his life. Oh, nice. This? Let them go. First, give me the stone. My childhood friend was never not chill with me, so let them go first. Throw the stone, then we'll let them go. She would tell me certain stories about how certain people would do things against them, and I would just sort of believe them because, you know, they were my friend. And I guess it turns out that those stories were partially part of the condition. Finally, we've got it. The cardinal will be very pleased. Good job. I'm done now. You get care of the rest. Get rid of them. Dakla, was in on it too?
Little weird. They're not exactly the same thing, but when I look at schizophrenia, it is kind of
I am on it.
similar.
So you think that
Where-
gender dysphoria and schizophrenia are similar?
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they are both mental illnesses. That's the main similarity
not.
between them.
Though
And
a mental condition is not the same as a mental illness.
it's kind of like telling. What Pancho said was a little off. He said it was kind of like telling someone.
Okay,
Little
so it seems like you're getting a little lost in the weeds, and I understand like you're in front of a large audience, so maybe you're a little bit nervous. That's fine.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
first thing I'll say is that
a large audience? How many people watch Tipster live? Hold on. How big of an audience does Tipster have? This person isn't arguing the anti-transposition very well. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna go ahead and say there is not really a good way to argue the anti-transposition. Might be shocking to some, but you know, that is my opinion.
so gender dysphoria is not a mental illness; it's a mental condition. There's a difference,
Well,
right?
if you look up the definition of a mental condition and a mental illness, then it is almost the exact same definition.
Almost.
But
makes
they're
a
not the
difference.
same.
The devil lies in the details.
One moment, let me pull up the
As always, in
definitions.
Okay.
So I looked up mental condition. One moment.
I have a mental condition.
A mental condition is a wide range of
I am
conditions
mentally
that affect
conditioned.
mood, thinking, and
I'm
behavior,
mentally conditioned.
like clinical depression, anxiety disorder,
It's good to see
bipolar
you're still
disorder,
among
all
the
that
living.
stuff. Schizophrenia,
Oh, come
obsession.
on. He shouldn't be having loud cutscenes during the debate.
Looks like we're-
Why are we watching a spineless man who shoot a very stupid fish in a barrel? Because he asked me last stream to watch his debate and I said yes. And I keep my word because I try. Hello, an Entropy fan.
Compulsive disorder, autism, post-traumatic stress, all that stuff. So it alters the way that the brain works. Would you agree?
I have a brain. And it
Can
works
you repeat that again?
sometimes.
Sorry.
There's no
So
Oh my
a
God.
mental condition alters how the brain works. So like clinical depression, it makes the brain work in a way that you don't
Right.
produce the dopamine that you need.
Here's a radio. Take it.
I
Or
don't
like an anxiety disorder or bipolar disorder or dementia, it alters how the brain works. Would you agree?
I don't know if I entirely agree with that definition. But maybe
My
to some
brain is
extent, no.
altered.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate.
I think so.
Okay. Well, I looked up mental disorder, and it brings up the same types of things: clinical depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, dementia,
Damn.
attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsion disorder, autism. It's bringing up all these same things. So when you look up a mental disorder and a mental illness or mental condition, they are all under all three of those brackets.
But the thing
So
is, like, the thing is, like, when you typically think of like a mental disorder is something that like, it's something that's like, how do I explain this? It's something that in itself is the problem that you're dealing with. But something like gender dysphoria is something that can lead to other types of mental sort of situations. Like a lot of people who have
Wow.
gender dysphoria, for example, they suffer from like depression, they suffer from anxiety,
Yeah.
they suffer with like suicidal ideation, things like that.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit different.
I forgot I have a
I can
gun
see
now.
where you're coming from with that,
Yeah,
but
it's
again,
like
I
a
said-
contributing factor to like other.
Yeah, for sure,
conditions.
for sure.
Yeah.
But when, like I said, when I'm reading off all these conditions, when I looked up mental condition, it said all these conditions. When I looked up mental,
When I look at condition, I see that I am conditioned. And when I am conditioned, I see that I have my condition altered. Does Tipster even know what's the difference between mental condition in general and a mental illness? Maybe. We'll find out in a moment. You can have one without the other. Plenty of non-trans people have dysphoria and plenty of trans people don't. Oh, I mean... I'm not all that familiar with Tipster, to be quite honest.
illness
No, Tipster is a great fan of Keffels, if that means anything to you.
or mental disorder, it also brought up all these conditions.
Okay.
Now,
So
when
I don't. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
when I also say that like you can't magically like change your gender or scientifically change your gender, yes, you can alter your physical body to better fit the description of what you want to be, and I'm one of those people that respects people's boundaries. If they want to be called a certain gender, go for it, all you.
That's fair.
But when someone says that they are going to fully transition into that, that's where I start to get a little worried,
Angry!
because
And I get angry!
when
Why?
you are
That's where I get angry. That's where I get red on the face and I say, shut up! No! Shut your face! No, you're not fully transitioning. How dare you? How dare you even suggest it in front of me? Get the hell out of my face. That's exactly how I react. But you know, apart from that, I'm very respectful and generally a very loving person. You know, that's just how I am. That is just how I roll. I'm full of love, like that. Wait, hold on. An entropy fan. Am I a mediocre debater? Damn. An entropy fan attacks me, personally. That is a personal attack on me, for some reason. Because I'm self-centered. And egotistical.
depressed or when you are anxious or you have bipolar, you take medicines or you get therapy to help with those conditions.
Mhm.
So
those are what's it called? Treatments that have been found to work with those types of
yeah,
conditions.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But what you're
when-
saying is you don't like the idea of gender transition, but that's what the medical and scientific community has found it works with gender dysphoria. So
Yeah.
like
For example, surgery can fix body dysmorphia. The problem is a disorder perception of one's body. Meanwhile, readjusting the body, i.e. an external factor, is actually It's like how you treat gender dysphoria.
You're okay with the treatments for like anxiety and depression, but you're not okay with the medically and scientifically approved
May I
sort of
also bring
treatments for
something
gender
up?
dysphoria.
May I also bring one more thing up before I
Sure.
answer your
Please
question?
bring your
Sure.
things
The
to the
person
rooster.
who did those studies herself was a lesbian.
Oh
Okay,
no!
actually, I would
Oh,
love to
that's
talk
horrible.
about this. First of all, why would a lesbian woman be biased about studies related to trans people?
Because lesbian
Because
women
it
are
is
trans.
all part of the LGBT
Which
community.
by the way, for the record, in case you don't
It's
know,
because lesbian women are the biggest trans people of all. There's no more trans than being a lesbian woman. Didn't you know? Destroyed! True. I destroy my enemies in the playground of ideas. Oh, why is this enemy so tough? Hold on. What's with this enemy? I kind of like made refuse to light. Maybe you need to, you know, homonyms. You can be a mother if you were born male or a father if you were born female, if that's what he means. There are also problems with certain surgeries. I don't get mad at the idea of it, just sex. Wait, why can't you be a mother if you were born male or a father if you were born female? Why not? Have you never heard of adoption? Did you not know that people can adopt and be parents that way? Hold on, I'm gonna...
who he's talking about, chat. He's talking about Judith Butler. So
Yeah.
you're
Judith
saying
Butler. Oh, the lesbian woman. I do like Judith Butler. Judith Butler is a very brainy person. Can I call in again? Of course. Have you deleted your Discord? But you said you deleted your Discord forever. But it's okay. Call in. Oh my gosh. Round 2? Oh gosh. Round 2 of our debate? Alright. Chat, Lucy will adopt one of us if we get together and donate 1,000 subs. Yes, please. Wow. Damn. Would your second favorite streamer approve of such words? Wait, hold on. Are we in a call-in now? Where are you? Are you in? Are you in voice chat? Damn, I'm gonna change the view to this. Another collab? No, this is like round 2 of a debate. I'm gonna add the text in that case, if this is how it's gonna be. And it's gonna be... We're gonna debate trans issues. Guest. Glorious. Oh, this time you have to be on camera. That's right. Oh yes, you have to be on camera this time. That's right. I'm gonna have you on camera this time around. Hello, Shakespeare. Oh boy. Not exactly. Wait, you cannot be on camera? Wait, so you don't want to call it anymore? Now that I've prepared everything for that second round? Well, now you say, oh yeah, sure. That means I win by default. Let's see, what would you do if I gave you 1,000 Earths, hypothetically, because I don't even have $5. I would be very happy. I meant something specific. So yeah, wait, hold on. So you don't want to debate me anymore? Oh, I'm so disappointed now. Whatever. Whatever, I'm not mad. I'm not disappointed. I'm not sad. I'm not mad. Oh, okay. You're gonna be on camera this time. You cannot escape. I see that you're a content creator. I would probably I would get something special. Yes. I just thought of something and it made me happy for a moment. Happy memories. I'm going in. All right, let's get this ow 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 show on the road. All right, so this not this. Oh my gosh, Resident Evil. Guest. Glorious content. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, glorious content? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Where is it? Where's the... Man, maybe more people can... Maybe in the future more people will call in and debate me on things of nature and nurture. Wait, where are you? Where are you? I don't see you in any voice chat. And the giggle cord. Oh, wait, have you joined the server? Have you joined the server? Happiness is good, yeah. Happiness is good. It's good to sometimes be happy. Even if... Even if... Oh, thank you. Okay, have you called in? Where are you? I don't see you in any voice chat. Where are you, glorious content? Where are you? Man. Wait, you get what? I don't see you. You didn't show up. Is it? Is the stream crashing for people? If the stream is crashing, then maybe I should just end it. End it all. Uh-oh. I forgot I'm using a gun. Uh-oh. Stream is fine? Are you sure? Get ability. Eye drop. Oh wow. I inherited the ability eye drop. Okay, are you in? It's giving me a harder captcha to prove I'm human. Prove your humanity. That's because you have a American internet. Say more random numbers and I will repeat them back to you to prove it. Wow. You've convinced me. I'm going to Ukraine soon. As soon as I get my estrogen. So if you want to support me in my endeavors, why not, you know, why not support your favorite streamer? Isn't that right, Philip August? Am I not your favorite streamer? Will my father be alright? He's dead. I'm afraid. It's over. It's Jover for your father. Nothing can help him now. Not even a phoenix down. She's coming to Ukraine to trans the Russians. Watch out. 100. Are you alright, father? Actually, that was one of Putin's reasons for invading. Or at least he said that. The trans people. Evil transness. Don't worry about me, they got the stone. Roosevelt will try to revive the machines beneath Gog with its power. He may even try to use the divine powers in the stones. Besides, the Cardinal is working with Bard Company. Not much we can do now. Hehe, good for them. What do you mean? I made a fake one in case something like this happened. You mean they got a fake? That's right, they must be going crazy now. Princess Ovelia and Agrias are in danger. What do you mean? The Cardinal joined Bard to get the stone. He may take the princess hostage. Ridiculous, making an enemy of the royal family. Why do you think the Cardinal wanted the stone? People are sick of long wars and political infighting. Dracula wants to use the Zodiac Brave story. Creating Zodiac Braves by collecting holy stones. He can control the world. He is right. We can give the stone to the Cardinal. Let's save the Princess and Agrias. As always, the evils of the church are behind everything. Right, but by the way to Lionel is probably sealed. We'll use a ship to sneak in the back of the castle. Whatever, dude. Uh-oh. We have to get rid of another bird. Sorry. Okay, we're getting rid of Bacchus. What a silly name, Bacchus. So are you in? Are you in or not? Are you a human? Are you a human, glorious content? Uh-oh. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy moly. Pitiro. Come on, let's debate. That's gonna be, we're gonna debate and that's gonna be the end for today because I'm feeling bad or something. Come on. Come on. Come on. Debate, debate, debate. Okay, so are we having that debate or did I win by default? Debate, debate, debate me. Anyone else wants to debate me? What's your name? Lucy wins. I think an Entropy fan wants to debate me. There aren't any Lionel troops in war, Gillies. It's a chocobo. There's a chocobo bird. Chocober. Delita, why are you here? None of your business, Mother Quacker. Don't take our information network too lightly. Go back to Igros for your own sake. It's healthier to keep your nose out of certain things like princesses and stones. Delita, what do you mean? Rescuing the princess only solves one problem, but it can save her from all of them. What do you mean? I don't understand. It's because you're stupid, Ramza. I always knew you were stupid, but I tolerated your nonsense because we used to be friends. But now we're not friends anymore. And I tell you to your face, you're stupid, Ramza. You always have been. Your brain is slow. The best ways don't always lead to the best results. You can save her no matter what. The verify button isn't clicking when I click on it. I don't do this. Because you have to type in a special command. Oh, nobody knows how to. Oh, man. Have you joined the Discord? Where is it? My gosh. Where is the hatchling ground? You haven't joined. Are you using the same account as last time? If so, then you still have the roles. If you're using the same account as last time, then you still have the roles. You don't have to verify anymore. You're in. If you're reusing the same account as last time, then you can just join any voice. Remember that. Wait, Delita. What are you trying to do? Lark, Gotana, your brothers, everyone. Haven't noticed they're all swept up in the same flow. I'm just going against it, that's all. I'll see you again, if you live that long. Delita. What was the debate gonna be on even? Trans right. Of course. I'm a trans person, so I have to defend. I have to be a representative for the entire trans community. That is my job. Did you not know? Ooh, poison. That is the role of trans people, to be the trans representatives of all the, you know. That's right. I'll defend it till it's defended. It ain't over till it's over. Good morning. Can you use your coffee? Defend your right to exist. Go. You're using the princess as bait to get the stone back? That's not something a holy man would do. Bastard! Things would have been fine if you hadn't let them escape. There were some mistakes, but it wasn't my fault. Enough, Rudwick. I'll return Ovelia to Dei Sedarg as promised. It was our intention to. But don't you need to get rid of those who know about the kidnapping? The thief who stole the stone is with them. You can catch them all by using the princess's bait. 2 birds with 1 stone. Exactly. But what if you're being weak? Careful is more like it. You've got to be careful to survive on a battlefield. Alright, I'll make sure you're protected. Also, we'll prepare bait just in case. Good, the woman will make perfect bait. I'll get rid of them. I am more reliable than him. How dare you? Fine, I'll leave it to you. Are you serious? Don't let me down, Gavgarion. No problem, I'll even get the stone back. Why him? You failed enough. Now you must take responsibility. What? Oh. Oh. I mean, I should debate. Okay, are you in? Are you in, please? Thank you. This one's not gonna be 4 hours. I'm just gonna put it out there. This is gonna be our rematch. Bing bum boom ba 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 ba. I don't have confidence if people will accept my identity. Well, you know, I'm a person and I accept your identity, if that means anything. I try to act like a person. Oh, well, that is nice to hear. That it means something. Where are you? Don't try to escape. Too late. So here you are. Give yourself up. What? I'm protecting Agrias. Geronimo! Jesus Christ. Sometimes the translation for this game was not the best. I'm protecting Agrias. Geronimo! Geronimo! Damn. Geronimo. Damn, 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 damn. Hamza, why are you here? Why are you rescuing me? How dare you? Get out of my face. I slap you. I was going to attack the castle flank to save you. But why are you here? The Cardinal secretly plotted with Lark from the start. We tried to escape, but only the princess got caught. Wait, the Discord is not working? First we have to get rid of them somehow. Hold on, what but it worked last time. Can't you just log into the same account that you used last time? Just log into the account that we talked through last time. What's the problem? Damn. That is sad. I'm sad. I was preparing for a big debate. I was so ready. Might just find other stuff to do, but if I can get work working, maybe we can team up on panels sometime. Maybe. On what panels? Do you have any specific panels in mind? Okay, let's see. I guess I'm going back to Tipster then. I'm going back to Tipster then. Never mind, I've been lied to. I've been promised a tense and bloodthirsty debate. Yeah. Tipster asked me to react to his debate. So here I am, reacting.
That she's biased just because she's gay.
That could be a part of it. Yes,
But
I
why?
believe.
Why she's gay and trans are not the same thing? Why would she be biased
I
towards
understand that
trans
they're-
studies if she's gay?
Gay is a higher form
I
of
understand
trans.
that they aren't the same thing, but when
are.
you are looking at these factors, when you go out and say, so I'm going to bring up a personal experience as an example.
Okay.
Wow, of
When
being gay?
I went out and said that, like, this one person told me that, like, coming out as trans or something could be, like, or even gay or anything, it's the bravest thing you can do. And,
True.
you know, I didn't agree with that because, you know, wars are fought. They
said that coming out as gay and trans is the bravest thing that you could do, and I didn't agree because I didn't feel all that brave, said the caller. In a twist. It's not working. I'm disappointed.
get upset.
I'm sorry.
And-
I'm not trying to be rude here, but
I
I
am
still
trying
failed
to
to
be
see.
I don't think it that way.
I still felt to see how this
I
shows
love
that a
being
lesbian woman would be biased towards
I'm
trans
getting there.
studies.
I also getting there.
You're getting
I
okay.
I am getting to my point. I'm sorry.
You don't have
Okay,
a point.
sorry, no worries, no worries. Like I said, I understand.
no,
You
no.
know, you're in front of a large audience. You might be a little nervous. That's fine.
But when
I don't know what you were preparing, but I still haven't gotten that link you promised in the last one. I have. You said, give me that report, and I answered as you wish, and I linked it to you in the comments. I gave you the link. I gave you the report. I mean, I can put it in the chat if you can't get it from the comments. I'm gonna fetch it. I'm actually gonna right now fetch it from the comments. Jesus. You're so picky. Hold on. I'm literally gonna get it from the comments. I'm getting it from the comments. Here you go. Why is it so long? Jesus, why is it? This is so annoying. The way YouTube works is bad. There you go. I'm right because I'm right. I'm right because, I mean, I'm more left than right, but you're right. Hold on. Oh god, what's wrong with the mouse now? Everything's conspiring against me today. Maybe I should just... Literally everything's conspiring against me today. Oh, now it's fixed. There you go. The report. Okay, let's continue the debate.
And you look at the LGBT community, this is what I'm trying to get at this with that like experience. They all,
True. They're all gay.
when a group of people identifies under one kind of banner, they all
the gay
kind
ban-
of
the gainer.
go out and protect each other.
What?
Do you understand what I'm kind of saying?
So
Like a
you're
mafia.
saying she's biased. You're saying she's biased just because they're all under the LGBTQ
I'm saying
umbrella?
I'm saying she could possibly be biased.
Okay.
I might have mixed that up earlier on, and if I did, then I did. But
Yeah,
there
of course.
is the possibility of that bias being there. Would
Okay.
you agree?
I would disagree personally, but I can at least
so
understand your
agree.
logic there because Poncho didn't
Yeah,
really explain his logic, so at least you have
Logic
somewhat
is
of a
for
logical
pussies,
explanation to why you feel that way. Okay, fair enough.
for cowards.
Here's the other thing about Judith Butler, because that's who Poncho was talking about. You're talking about the
Judith
same woman
Butler.
Poncho was talking about, right?
The lesbian woman.
I believe so.
Okay, so Judith Butler, you know she didn't actually do any studies, right?
I'm fairly certain she did.
No, she didn't do any studies. She's not a doctor.
All the gay creators stand up for me. Listen. Okay, how many LGBT creators do you know? Name me all the LGBT creators in chat. Go, quickly, go. Name me all of the LGBT creators that you know. And by that I mean all the creators that are LGBT. Gay or trans or gay or trans gay, all the combinations, all the possible configurations. Yeah, name 5 LGBT creators. That's right, Philip August. Go. What happened to her? Well, whatever. Well, go on. Let's see what sort of an ally you are, truly, in your heart of hearts.
Or she's not a scientist or a biologist or anything like that. She's a
Peganox. We're getting okay, like, name me creators that I know. Oh my gosh. I don't know any of these. Anita? Jesus. Okay, that's free. That's free. Am I back to zero now because you don't know them? Yes, you're back to zero. You have to restart. To start from zero. To earn my trust. Oh wow. Sandy? Who's that? Jesus. There could be confirmed bias and I wouldn't care. I'm not even sure if all the data being true matters. You don't care about data?
Philosopher. Do you want to know what she actually did?
You.
I would like you to inform me.
Wait,
She
glorious
wrote a book
content.
in
Are you
regards to
LGBT?
gender in its connection to feminism. She did no transgender studies at all. Not a single one. Did you know that? Or did you just believe that because Pancho told you that?
Well, I thought a while ago I had read something under her name, but
Yeah, she didn't do any studies for transgender people. Not a
okay,
single
I
one.
might be confused then with someone
Okay.
else.
I mean, that's who. If you so, you're talking about because it sounds like you have a lot of the same talking points as Poncho. That's what it sounds like to me. And I'm
Yeah,
willing to bet you probably got a lot of your information from Poncho, right?
I also got it from kind
Wait,
of
hold
my
on.
whole
Glorious content. Are you
viewpoint
LGBT?
of the world, but I did get a couple of my points from Poncho.
Okay,
I
so
am
then
not
you're
going
you're
to
likely
the
talking
record.
about the same woman that Poncho is, which is Judith
Yeah,
Butler.
Chad Logic is not LGBT.
I believe so.
Okay, so
Let
yeah,
me.
she didn't do
Come
any
on.
transgender
Now you're
studies.
just listing
Yeah,
people.
I just looked up Judith Butler
Chad Logic.
gender studies, and yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
saying
go to Chad
anything.
Logic's
I
stream and tell him that
appreciate
he is
you
like.
bringing that up.
Okay,
I
no
don't
problem.
think so.
No problem.
I don't think Chad
Okay,
Logic's
so
LGBT. No.
I guess I want to get back to a question that I asked you earlier. So you say that you're not in favor of like trans people transitioning. So
Philip
what do you
August, you didn't even
suggest
men-
would be the
You
appropriate
didn't even
treatment for
list
transgender
me.
people?
First of all, Philip
So,
August. Second of all,
my
glorious
opinion,
content. You're not LGBT
I'm
and
not saying
neither
this
is
is
Chad Logic.
100% going to be the best way. It's just an idea. So, when looking at this mental condition, the gender dysphoria, you need to kind of be taught about what that
Debate
does
poison
to your
LGBT.
brain. Instead of just
She
saying, oh
only
yeah, you have
acknowledges
gender
Polish
dysphoria,
YouTube
you're
debate poison
trans,
LGBT.
you know.
Your
Instead of
second
just
favorite is
outright
also
telling them
LGBT. I'll have you
the
know.
best thing for you
Philip
is
August.
to
As shocking as it might be
completely
to
change
you.
your gender, is to remove all
Yeah,
your
yeah.
genitals or
Wait,
whatever,
really?
you know, completely transition.
In what way
They
are you
should
LGBT? Glorious
first
content.
at least try seeking professional help with that.
So
Like,
what does that professional help look like?
a therapist possibly, or
You know, a lot of trans people actually go to a therapist to get a confirmation of their gender dysphoria, right?
yes, but at the same time, those therapists possibly, or they possibly don't go there. I'm saying possibly because I myself am not transgender, so I don't know this whole thing. But in my eyes, instead
Yeah?
of just going there to be diagnosed with
Oh, you did?
dysphoria, gender
I don't remember you
dysphoria,
saying you were buying the
possibly
debate,
look a
actually.
bit deeper into that
I don't
gender
remember you
dysphoria
saying
and
that.
why you have it.
Do you
Do you see what I'm-
do you think that every person that goes to a psychiatrist or a doctor or something for gender dysphoria knows what they have? Like there's some people that they go having no idea what they have, and then when they see that psychiatrist, the psychiatrist
agree.
is the one that informs them that that's what they have. It's kind of like someone who goes to a psychiatrist and says, "Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm experiencing."
You'll
And
just say I haven't heard of him either. What do you mean? Okay, try me, Philip August. Try me and we'll see if I'll say that I've never heard of him. Try me. Try it. You never know. Until you try. If I'll say that I've never heard of him. Try it. Don't be scared. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be gay.
Psychiatrists will diagnose them with, an anxiety disorder or depression.
Lucy, have you heard of DBZ? Dragon Ball Z? You mean Dragon Ball Z? What do you mean by DBZ? Therapists can just tell you what you want to hear. This is an issue. There is a number of problems with diagnosis, but that's just another point against transmedicalism. Oh, you're not a transmedicalist. Oh wow. Wait, hold on. When have you become so progressive, glorious content? So are you for self-ID, glorious content? Are you for self-identification rather than transmedicalism? Is that your stance?
Disorder, or maybe they'll get diagnosed with something like ADHD or something like that, right? Like that's
Yeah, I agree. But
so you understand that like not everybody who goes to a psychiatrist is specifically looking for a diagnosis of like gender dysphoria or something like that, right?
100%.
Okay.
Because some people outright know that, like, oh, I have bipolar, or I have, like you said, gender dysphoria. But when I myself do have like trans friends, but none of them want to fully transition because they already live a happy, healthy life.
Right.
They
Do
know what
you
they
know? Do you know that like there's different levels of like comfort that like people will seek out in terms of gender affirming care. So like for example, you mentioned your friends, they haven't like fully transitioned or whatever. Like, and to be clear, what do you mean by fully transition? Are you talking about surgery,
Like,
or are you also talking about like, hormone replacement therapy, or like what specifically?
Like when you fully transition, instead of having, a penis, you get the I think for male to female they invert it to simulate a vagina.
Well, we don't have to get into the specifics of it. So you're talking about
Yeah,
surgeries. But
yeah,
like
surgeries
but for
and
you HRT still on the table? Like taking HRT, that's fine?
Well,
So no, okay.
remember
HRT
what
is not fine.
HRT is?
Okay. So what I was going to say though is that not every trans person needs to transition to the same degree. Some people, like you mentioned your friends, who like maybe they just dress differently, maybe they use, like if it's a male to female, they might use a woman's name now or something like that. Those are what's called social transition.
I guess that's
maybe even using like new pronouns. Like those are
things.
things that are called social transition. And some transgender people are perfectly fine just
Or
socially
saying-
transitioning.
Okay,
Right?
What you
now
were
I
saying.
really feel like you need to call in because I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Tipster dodge. I'm not sure I'm not sure I understand what you even mean. You're not articulating yourself very well. Alright? You have to articulate yourself. Come on.
Is don't necessarily fully transition your physical body and just kind of accept who you are, is what I'm getting from your point.
So are you saying not to social transition either?
No. I'm asking what your idea of this is, what your overall idea is.
So to what extent that I agree with transitioning? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, so like
Okay,
just accept
so-
who you are, or you have to
No.
transition to... Okay,
No. If you have gender dysphoria, I want you as a person to have the ability to transition to whatever degree you need to experience the level of comfort you need to address your gender dysphoria. So again, for some people, that's just social transition. They might use different pronouns. They might, go by a different name for the opposite gender, whatever gender they identify with. They might change the way they dress and present themselves, and that would be fine for them. There may be other people who may decide, I want to do hormone replacement therapy, and if that makes them comfortable, then hey, I'm totally in favor of them doing that as well.
Yeah.
And then also, if they decide, you know what, I want to go with sex reassignment surgery, I'm perfectly fine with that too. Whatever it takes for them to feel comfortable in their own body.
Want me to call in to list LGBT creators and probably end up misremembering that someone is gay or missing someone else and being cancelled? You wanna call in? Let's go, Philip August. Call in. Call in then. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for you to call in. I sent a verification code, then said that code is invalid. It sent What and what? What verification code? What? What are you talking about? LMAO, no. You don't want. You know what? But listen, Philippe August. Don't you want to? Don't you want to? Don't you want to? Don't you want to? Donate? Don't you want to donate?
I'm 100% in favor of that.
It's just when I look at people, or especially like the Bible, and I understand not everyone believes in the Bible. Not
Oh, silly man. The Bible is not a person. Yeah, he walked right into that one. When I look at people, especially the Bible. What the? Oh, people are silly. People are not very smart with their languages. When I look at people, especially the Bible. Listen, that was a funny bit I just did. You should laugh. You should laugh. You should at least write me a little bit of a pity lol. There you go. I knew it. I'm funny. I have an amazing sense of humor. Does the Bible mention trans stuff? Of course. At the very beginning, God made them man and woman. Adam. At the very beginning, God made them man and woman. That's actually what the Bible says. Because Adam was born with the essence of man and woman. And then the mistranslation said that God took out a rib out of Adam, but actually what was said that God took the woman part out of Adam, divided Adam into two separate beings from one, man and woman, but God made Adam both man and woman. I wish it was on Twitch so I could clip it easily. You can actually clip it fairly easily, I think. There's a option to clip it easy. I think. Hold on. There used to be a clip option. Like the scissors. Yeah, there is. Right next to share, there's just this clip option with scissors. That's a pretty easy option to clip. I don't know what you want to clip, but that's an easy clip option.
everyone believes in God, but when I read the Bible, it specifically states that a man was created to be a man and a woman was created to be a woman, and there is no changing that. Because, if you look at the Bible again, man was created in God's image, male or female.
Okay, so I'm not going to be disrespectful to your religion because even though I
Go
no
ahead.
longer follow religion, I'm not going to be
I
disrespectful to your religion.
talking
But I'm
about
just going to say, like, any
disrespectful.
arguments that involve religion, those aren't really going to work here. I'm just giving you a heads up
Yeah,
on that.
I understand. You're
The rib
backing
thing
by
doesn't check
scientific
out.
studies and everything, but I
Right.
myself am questioning it. I'm just saying, like, if you look at
The rib thing doesn't check at all. It's a mistranslation. Because the word in Hebrew is the word for side aspect. And the Torah says that God created Adam, man and woman, and then he separated the woman side aspect out of Adam. That's the reality of the made up fictional story. That's the reality of this made up fictional story. This is ridiculous. One girl has died, so what? We must first think about justice. There is no justice in using and deceiving people. I can't ignore people dying for justice. I'll save Princess Ovelia. Stubborn kid.
all the history, like, from the Bible, from, like, just Roman anything, like, not only was it not, like, right to change your gender, which I understand that in like Roman culture.
You know,
and,
transgender people have existed all throughout history, right?
Yes,
True.
yes, I understand that. And
Forever and
homosexuality even was highly like agreed upon in like Greek society,
I highly agree
in ancient
with
Greek
homosexuality.
society.
True.
I feel like you're getting kind of lost in the weeds here, and maybe again it's because you're nervous.
Like, just the idea
I'm
of
lost
what
in the
we see
sauce.
now today as the LGBT community was accepted to some extent throughout history,
Okay.
but not to the degree that it is today, if you see what I'm saying.
I don't see what you're saying.
I think I see what you're saying. I don't
No,
know.
I
Like I said,
don't.
I feel like you're getting kind of lost in the weeds. I feel like we're drifting
Yeah.
off apart from the
A little
transgender
bit, a little
issue.
bit.
But
I would agree.
I guess since you brought up gay people, like how do you...
But yeah, you should YouTube raid into Sandy sometime if you're on the same time. Who's Sandy? I don't think it matters if hormones and surgery are a recent thing, relatively speaking. Does it matter? Does it matter if they are?
How
I
do you
don't
feel
think
about
so.
gay people? You cool with gay people?
So it's not that I don't like them or I hate them. I just believe that
Do I like him? I'm the gayest of them all. There's no gayer gay than the gay old gay. You know? Does that make sense? I think I make perfect sense. I don't think this point could have been made any better. Accepting LGBT people is one thing. The existence and nature of certain groups under the umbrella is another. It may or may not, depending on your angle. Okay, you have to fix your thing and call in, and we have to have a debate about trans rights, because it seems like you have many misguided views.
men and women were put on this earth to be with the opposite gender. When you go to have a child, a male and a female have a child, not a male and a male, not a female and a female. You can adopt, but that also is a mental condition, like you said.
Adopting
still
is a
believe it
mental
is
So
condition?
you think gay people are
illness.
mentally ill?
Damn. What a strong statement to make. Adopting is a mental condition. I never expected to hear that. You can adopt, but it's a mental condition. Damn. What a person. First he says, when I think of people, especially the Bible, and then he says, you can adopt, but it's a mental condition. Or maybe you misunderstood what I meant. Well, we cannot clear up our misunderstanding because you cannot call in.
To a certain extent, not like schizophrenic
Yikes.
level.
Damn. Hold up. Okay, I can accept that. Adopting children is a mental condition, but only to a certain extent. Okay, I guess I can get behind that.
No.
That's
don't,
gotta be
don't,
a yikes for
don't
me,
bend it.
dude.
No,
I'm just,
no.
I'm just being honest with you. That's a pretty big.
No,
yikes
he's
for
right.
me,
He's
dog.
right. Adopting
Yeah,
children is basically a
but
mental condition.
I mean, to
Having
each their
children
own.
at all
If you think that's a
is a
big
mental
yikes, then
condition.
that's fine.
Yikes.
In my eyes, like when
Yikes.
I don't want to say when a normal person, because that's even worse.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good.
But I will. I don't want to say. What a weird conversation that's showing up to be. I wanna call them hideous freaks disgusting monsters, because that would be pretty bad, wouldn't it? If I call them gross disfigurations of human beings. That would not be good if I did that, would it? Would it? Okay. I could call them disgusting and repulsing, but I won't because I'm so good.
That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I'm
But when-
trying to be gentle here, my dude. Like I said, I understand you're nervous, and I understand you're coming from a place of like religion, which, yeah, again, not disrespecting
My
your
dude.
religion. Just Sky Daddy arguments don't work here.
I express my thoughts. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
that's
to prove
fine.
anything
That's
wrong.
fine.
I'm just expressing my thoughts, and I'm wanting to hear your side of things.
Okay.
And I understand that you understand that. So, when I look at LGBTQ community,
I
like-
see sin and depravity, and I want to cleanse them.
I see all of that, like, is to some extent, depending on where you're coming from,
A sin.
is a certain level of mental illness.
Oh my god.
No, please.
I-
No,
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 I'm
no,
just-
no,
I'm just
no,
being
no,
honest
no,
with you.
please,
That
please,
looks-
please,
that
no,
looks
no,
really
no,
bad,
don't judge
dude.
me, don't judge me, please, 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 no, 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 no. I don't think I'm in any shape to do any meaningful analysis tonight. I'm sorry. Hello, Ravignon. Hello. Oh, hello. You're here. Would you like to call in? Hello, how are you doing? I was supposed to have a second round of debate today, but the person could not get their Discord in order. How does one call in? Join my Discord. Hold on, I'll bring up the command, which I hope it will work. It won't. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna get you an invite. Hold on. Kill cord. Invite. Copy. Yes. Here. You joined the Discord. Do you have a Discord? Too many people don't have Discords. But yes. There's a plenty of mental illness, and it's all because of transphobia, hemophilia. I don't believe that, but that's what I would tell him if I was tipster in this situation. Don't you mean mental conditions? I don't think transphobia can trigger a mental illness. But yes, please join the Discord. Have you joined? Have you joined the Discord? You have? Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, you knew how to... You knew how to... thing. Okay. We have 5 mutual friends. Wait, who are our mutual friends? Okay, I'm gonna turn off the streamer mode for a second. Streamer mode off, so I can spy on you for a second. 5 mutual friends. Wait, who's Zanezete? I don't know who this is. Hold on. I don't know who this is. Oh my gosh. We have a mutual friend and I don't know who they are. Not so erudite. Okay, never mind. I'm turning it back on, okay? Streamer mode. Boom. Okay, now join global voice chat. Join global voice chat. Not that sound? What sound? What's wrong with that sound? I muted. I muted it. Calm down. Hello. Hello. How are you?
Hey there. Good, good. I'm just home from university actually, so I was looking at things.
What do you study?
I'm an applied mathematician.
Mathematician?
Yes.
Oh wow. You're like hardcore. Alright.
Yeah, I do history on YouTube and things like that, but I'm not actually a trained historian, so I have to tell people that constantly so they don't give me like unearned credits for stuff.
Wow. I'm a history nerd. You know?
Mm.
Yes. I have here even
Yeah.
a book. Oh, do you wanna have a cam or something?
Mm. I don't think I have a cam in this computer. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Let me see.
Look, I have a book here.
What book are you reading?
It's called War Relationship. Germans and Polish
Mm.
people during the Nazi occupation.
Oh, okay.
That's right. It's about sometimes consensual, sometimes totally not consensual romances between Nazi soldiers and Polish women.
Mm. I see.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, go on.
I know surprisingly little about Poland. Like, in general, I have to say that I am very much the kind of person who followed a very internationalist school of foreign relations when I was reading history. And the big mistake we do there, especially when we study Germany and Russia, right,
Mhm.
is that German history and Russian history are told together and in detail, and the political theory of both is also like explored conjointly.
To
But
study
very rarely do
IR?
people. Yeah, on my own. But very rarely do we look at everything in the middle of Germany and Russia as places with agency or as places that, you know,
Do you mean like
had
Ukraine
political
or
developments of their
Poland
own.
or Lithuania or?
Yes, I didn't really study anything regarding to the Baltics, for example, until I was doing some paperwork on the Latvian SS a very long time ago.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's like the kind of thing that you rarely see when discussing history. What happened with Eastern Europe?
So what do you know about Poland?
My girlfriend is Polish.
Oh.
That's about it.
Your girlfriend is Polish. Do you speak any Polish?
No, but I want to learn to impress her. I hope she's not watching this stream because
Oh.
otherwise it's gonna get
I can
spoiled.
teach you. Of course.
What can you teach me?
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. What's
Yeah.
that?
Good morning.
Ooh. Okay, I will tell her that tomorrow.
Now you can say siema.
Shema.
Siema, yeah, which is sort of like an informal hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Shema.
siema is like an informal version of jak się masz? How are you?
Yeah, too much. Okay.
You can tell your girlfriend kocham cię.
Kocham cię. Okay. What's
Yeah.
that mean?
Love you. I love you.
That's so nice. Okay.
Yeah. I
You're gonna
can
have to spell that for me.
and write it in hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Do I have the wow, what a thrilling stream. But I'm not feeling very well because
Yeah.
I'm out of estrogen and my doctor is not prescribing me more.
Oh shit, that's so sad. I'm in a very similar situation right now.
That's the kocham
What
cię.
happened?
Yeah.
Kocham cię. Yeah. What happened with me is that I am a trans woman as well. I started my transition on April, and I've not been given medication yet. I was given ethinyl estradiol in a public hospital, but if you're a trans woman listening to this, by the way, ethinyl estradiol is something that has a very high risk of thrombosis. So
I use two
I
things.
would.
I actually take
Mm.
3 pieces of medicine. I take Androcur as blockers.
Androcur?
Yeah, that's the name of the blocker. I take Dostinex. It's, it kills the production of testosterone. And Estrofem, which is the estrogen. But I'm out of
Yeah.
estrogen and the doctor has been ghosting me or something.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, those are made in India. I see. You can probably ship them from the not nice places that trans people sometimes have to use, but yeah.
Yeah. And the doctor said, because the one
Mhm.
that's ghosting me right now, that if I went to the Czech Republic, then he can prescribe me shots instead of pills.
Shots are a lot better.
Yeah,
Shots
they
are a lot
are,
better.
but they're not available in Poland.
Oh, why? Is
'Cause
Poland
they're
like?
they're not sold in Poland.
Oh, okay.
You have
Not
to go
even
to the
cis
Czech
women?
Republic. No, they're
Hmm.
just not here. They're just not here. You have
Okay,
to go to the
I
Czech
see.
Republic to get them.
Mhm. All right. Here we do have injections, but they're very complicated to get. They're behind a lot of red tape.
Oh, well,
Uh,
my doctor said that if I ever decide to go to the Czech Republic, he will just prescribe them to me.
Yeah, okay. You
Even-
can come to Mexico as well. We have every medicine you may want.
Damn. I've been actually covering
Yeah.
some Mexican history.
Really?
Yeah, on stream. I've been talking about the first revolution, the Cry of Dolores, etc.
Right, yeah.
I
It's,
think that was
uh,
a very, how do I say? I think it was a very noble thing, very good intentions behind it.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing because Hidalgo and many of his co-conspirators were people who were a very specific type of like Jesuit Catholic liberal
Mhm,
that existed in the 19th century, in the very early 19th century.
mhm.
And they succeeded at creating the grounds for the Mexican Republic, but the problem is that there are a lot of contradictions between political Catholicism and political liberalism.
Mhm.
And if you continue studying Mexican history, you'll see that by around 1830,
Mhm.
those contradictions started to break down in wars, like the War of the Reform.
Right.
And,
I think the basis for the revolutions were pretty good, wanting equality and many other good things
yes,
for people.
yes. Yeah, they were liberals, but they were just like a very particular kind of liberal that's also Catholic. It might be like a thing that would be very hard to think outside of its historical context, but you will see that many countries in the modern day keep some sort of connection of that sort, like
Oh,
Spain, for example.
Can you
Spain
introduce
is
yourself with people who
ah
ask who
okay.
you are?
Yeah, hello. I am Ravignon. You can like Google my name, I guess. I will just write it on the chat. I am a YouTuber. I make videos on history. I've also been in some debate spaces like Stardust, if you know who that is.
Oh, you are a fan
I'm-
of Stardust?
I started content creation earlier than her,
Oh,
and I've been on some of her very first streams a long time ago. But she has just continued doing streams, and I've been continuing doing video essays, and we're kind of each on their own lane. but we met each other through Kraut, whom I think you might know.
I know Kraut, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I started my presence online as one of Kraut's artists.
Oh.
In his channel, the pull and pulls, and eventually I started making videos on my own. So yeah, it's pretty much like an
Yeah.
Orbiter situation.
You're a much bigger creator than I am, that's for sure.
Oh, I've been around for a while. It's largely because of that, I guess.
I've
You
been
debated Stardust. Did you win? I debated her on one of her meme debates, which was how many holes are in a human. That was like a very long time ago. I guess that if you look for it, you'll find it.
damn.
But I was just confused out of my mind. I think I was also doing weed during the debate. So yeah. Where is your art? You can find it on my channel or on my subreddit, I guess. Sorry for interrupting.
No.
You can go ahead.
I started out in the Riley Grace Rochon community, if you know who that is.
I heard RCR, but I don't know who that
RGR.
is actually. Who is that person?
It's a trans content. I don't think she does much content creation anymore. She's a lawyer
I see.
from Maryland. Many creators are from Maryland.
Yeah. And what does she make videos about?
Getting involved in real life politics.
Okay, that's really nice. Yeah, I find that that's very rare with people who are in like the online sphere.
Well,
I
I usually avoid references to real life politics because there's a risk I would dox myself.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Mhm.
because my family was involved politically.
I
Actively.
see. Yeah. In my case, my family was not in politics, but my family has always been political. At least my parents, for example, my dad, at some point was when he was studying in France. There's some video of him somewhere supporting KKE, which is like the Greek Communist Party. And in my case, ever since like 2014, 2012, I've been active in the Mexican left. I supported AMLO, so Andrés Manuel López Obrador, since he ran for the second time in 2012. Like when I had the beginning of political consciousness at like 14. And now I'm 25. Still waiting for the woke left to give me hormones. But yeah.
Well, my beginning of my political consciousness was when I was in early primary school and I was given
Really?
and I was given what do you call them, political campaign leaflets from my father when he campaigned to be elected.
I see. That's very nice.
So I campaigned at a young age.
Yeah. That's nice. I've never had the luck of having like a family that were politicians. Like I know a friend who competed for the governorship of Veracruz, like his uncle did. But they almost killed the guy, so
Oh, damn.
the lore of that side of the family is just kind of lost on him. But his mom really remembers. His mom is like really political.
Damn.
Yeah.
So,
So
what did you join the stream just now, or were you here before? Were you listening in? What did you think of this? What do you think of my stream? What do you think of the vibes?
I like the stream. I think it's comfortable. I generally like when people have like a very streamlined breakdown of what they're doing and what they're reacting to, and you got that like very well. Like there are VTubers who are basically graphic designers, I think, that have less of a good layout than you have right now.
Oh,
So that's very good. I guess it's very difficult as a streamer to grow in the environment because streaming is very much like wrestling in a way. If you're
Wrestling?
doing like like the politics thing, where you do need to get like a lot of good opportunities and find the right fights and get the right cameos and
I can
you know
always
little by little.
I can always jump in with a steel chair.
Yeah, you need your steel chair moments. I think like Al Hasdin or Infrared, I don't know what he calls himself these days, but he's very much a steel chair guy.
Infrared has.
Like, yeah, all,
The
all I
one-
see him do is like have steel chair moments. Yeah.
Well, I think his big
Uh-huh.
steel chair moment was when he decided that he wants to go to Russia and become a Russian stooge.
Is he in Russia right now? Did he
I don't know
actually go
if
to
he's right
Russia?
now, but he did go, yeah. And he sort of posed with tanks. He went together with Jackson Hinkle, actually.
Oh yeah, I remember Jackson Hinkle went to Russia. I guess I just didn't know that he went with Haas.
Like,
That's
Jesus.
crazy. I don't know. Oh yeah, and he interviewed Alexander Dugin, didn't he? And he asked him like a
Oh.
very stupid philosophy question.
Jesus. I mean, they're just bought shills for the Russian government at this point, so, you know.
Yeah. I was very surprised because when I saw Haas, I saw him ask Dugin like a very specific question of Hegelian philosophy. That,
Jesus.
you know, I was
Haas-
like, who
Haas
is this for?
Has the
Are-
would-be has the would-be street brawler and Jackson Hinkle, the would-be boxer.
Yeah. I am surprised that they are getting to a point where they're asking like very complicated Hegel questions to like the political theorist of a fascist regime. I don't know.
Alexander
Yeah.
Dugin and his sea and land empires and his moon and sun theories.
Yeah, I don't I know surprisingly little about Dugin as well.
I know a
but
bit.
it's not like I'm going.
I know a bit.
It's not like I'm going. Really.
Yeah, I know a bit about Dugin, yeah. He's basically just
Have
a
you read?
fascist. I've not read his works, but I've heard his own words.
I see. Yeah, I used to have a.
Listen, look at my setup. I have too many books to read to waste time reading Dugin.
Yeah, I see. Historia Politiciana Svata. I see something there like that. Yeah, I used to be in a community affiliated to UNAM, which is like the National University of Mexico, where one of the people who was above me in the program was very interested in the fourth political theory, which is Dugin's body of work.
Yeah,
And-
oh yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah,
And
you're right.
What he supported was a government that basically had two kings, a senate, a
Sounds
parliament,
like two kings.
but the elections. Yeah.
It sounds like
but,
a gay marriage to me.
Yeah. You needed to have two kings in case one of them like wanted to be a
Kings?
tyrant. Yeah.
Wow, damn, two kings together in a
Oh yeah, and only
Union.
2 people could vote. Yeah. Only a few people
Relationship.
could vote. Yeah.
Do you know
I
President
learned all
Sunday?
the Hegel. Ooh, President Sunday? No, I don't know him, but I
You
know
don't know
he's
this content
fought.
creator?
I know he's fought people I was like friendly with a long time ago,
Who did he fight?
but
Who did he fight?
let me see. I need to remember. Aristocracy, I think.
Yes.
Uh,
Were you friendly with aristocracy? Did you do any stuff with aristocracy?
A long time ago, when she started streaming, I was one of like her earlier supporters. I actually have been present in her community before she was a streamer. She used to run a Discord server called the Calliopean Club,
It's still,
which
it
I
still
think
exists.
it still exists, but it has been renamed and it doesn't exist the way it used to exist before.
Mhm.
I thought the previous community was better.
Mm.
and I don't really like the direction she's taken politically.
You mean
But
the Zionism?
Yeah. But I understand that she's very personally affected by a lot of the things that are happening, and you know, uh, you have to be ultimately when you disagree with someone on things of this sort, ruthless with systems and ideologies, but patient with people. And since I knew her as a person before I knew her as a content creator, I try to think of it from a place of patience. But I think on most issues, I disagree with what she's made of her presence ever since.
Ma,
And I left her server like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that.
I'm a Polish Jewish person that's not very Zionist.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
How come?
How come am I
What's
not
your?
Zionist?
I guess you can tell me like your views in general. Like
I
now
mean,
that you bring
I'm
it up.
not like actually in
Mm.
Poland, Zionism was not historically very popular. I'm not sure if you know this.
Really?
Yes.
I
In-
don't. I wouldn't have guessed so, given how many
Before the
Israeli
war.
prime ministers have been Polish.
Before the war, there were like 3.5 million Jewish people in Poland. Was like the second biggest Jewish community in the world after the US, I believe. And many Jewish people in Poland simply did not really get on well with the idea of Zionism before World War II. Most religious Jewish people said that there's this nice fragment of Herzl's associate. You know who Herzl was, right?
Yeah, Theodor Herzl.
Yeah. Well, one of his associates went to, I guess, convince people to his cause. He went to Poland, and he said that Polish Jewish people are the weirdest in the world. The heavily religious Jewish people pray 3 times a day for the Zion, but when they're told to just go to Israel, they super object. You know? And the enlightened Jewish people of Poland say that the idea of Zionism, that any enlightened Jewish person will find the idea of Zionism disgusting.
I see.
And there was also a
Yeah.
third sort of big faction called the Bund, which was basically a group of Jewish socialists. And they were also totally against the idea of Zionism. Their idea was basically, why would we go to a faraway land with deserts where people already live, where we can just make workers' life better here?
Yeah, be in Poland. That's very interesting. I don't know if but
You know, I
most of
guess I'm
the
just
Jewish
following
political yeah. Most of the Jewish political theory I'm familiar with is German, like Otto Bauer, if you know who that is. And Otto
also-
Bauer very much.
Considering that I,
He.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that Otto Bauer was very much the type of person that argued for a kind of Jewish particularism. So he thought, like, yes, we can be in Europe, but we need to be in Europe from a place of certain distinctiveness,
right.
because we still
There were
have
those
this
two in Western Europe. There were these two views. One was that Jewish people must assimilate, right? And the second
assimilate or being like segregated communities, but within
was assimilate, as in just become the citizens of the country that they
yes.
lived in.
Yes,
Basically,
yes.
like in Germany, just become Germans, etc., etc. And the Herzl's alternative to that was to decide that Jewish people were their own national identity, their own nation, and that it needs to go to Israel to create the nation state of Israel. Basically, that's the form of Zionism that Herzl was championing.
Yes.
And in Poland, there was
Yes.
this third road. A lot of people had the idea of this third road of wanting to live as Jewish people without any form of assimilation, but simply to live as Jewish people in Poland.
Yeah. I wish that kind of socialist had been more successful, because I think
And Bund was pretty
Lithuania-
successful, but unfortunately the Holocaust happened and
Yeah. I mean that as well, thinking of, for example, in Lithuania, you had this female Jewish socialist that was anti-Russian,
yeah.
whose name was Emma Goldstein, I think.
Mhm.
And she also advocated
I usually
for...
pronounce the surname Goldstein. Stein.
Goldstein. Okay,
Stein,
yeah.
I usually
And
pronounce it
she was a partisan of like a socialist Eastern Europe, but she didn't like Russian imperialism either. And I think that had a lot of these people survived, many of the worst aspects of the Soviet Union would have been either mitigated or criticized much more by, Eastern European socialists that didn't want to be part of Russia.
I mean,
Which,
in
yeah,
Poland
yeah.
there were socialists, many socialists who didn't like the idea of the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much do you
Yeah,
know
they
about
didn't get-
Poland?
Not a lot, actually.
Do you know what the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was? You must know that. You've done a
Yeah,
video
yeah.
about Ukraine.
Yeah. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was this. It was like a weird elected monarchy that came from the union of the Duchy of Lithuania and the Crown of Poland.
Yeah, the
And
Great
they
Duchy of
were at
Lithuania
some
and the Kingdom of
point-
Poland. And
Yeah, they were.
yeah.
They were at some point the biggest land power in Europe.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of there.
It was like
Had a very
a composite state.
yes.
Because it's important to remember that the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was not an empire, and of course, at some point there was an attempt to create the Polish-Lithuanian Ruthenian Commonwealth. Do you know about this attempt?
I heard about it, but as far as I know, the Cossacks weren't like fans, and they were constantly.
No, they were
fighting.
actually. That's more
Uh-huh.
complicated because the Cossacks sort of initiated
Yeah.
it.
Really?
Yes, because they thought that the deal with Russia was not as that began with Bogdan Khmelnytsky was not as good as they thought it would be. Like there was this infamous or famous, depending on how you want to look at it, meeting between the Cossacks with Khmelnytsky and the Tsar of Russia, and the Tsar said, "Okay, I guess you're gonna swear loyalty to me now." And the Cossacks said, "Oh well, hold on a moment. In the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the way it works is, we swear loyalty to you, but you swear loyalty to us as well." And the Tsar was like, "Well, that's not how that works here. This is nope, that's not happening."
I see.
And they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, we're expecting something else. We were expecting a little bit of a
yeah.
different deal." And the Tsar said,
Yeah.
"I am altering the deal. Pray that I don't alter it any further."
Damn, that sucks.
You know,
But it's so funny.
there's
that,
yeah. What's funny? You know,
Did you watch the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin?
yeah. Basically,
I did,
Poland
I-
is responsible for everything. Poland caused everything. Lithuanians were basically Russians, even though Lithuanians are not even Slavic people, but they were basically Russian, and then Polish people Polonized them. Ukrainian people were definitely Russian, but then Polish people tainted
is-
them.
There is this beautiful moment in that interview when Putin gives to Tucker Carlson a translation of the letter of association that Khmelnytsky signed in order to join Russia. But he very importantly said a translation. He didn't say what language it was from. And
Yeah.
it was in Ukrainian.
Oh, technically
he
speaking, at that
uh,
point it was still Ruthenian, wasn't it?
I think it was Ruthenian. It was a
Yeah,
Ruthenian language. It
Ruthenian.
wouldn't have been called, but
Because
yeah,
I don't think
like
at that point they've separated the two languages separated as much as because Ruthenian also includes Belarusian, mind you.
yes, but at the time being, I think there was a Russia, like there was a Russian language that was written down, particularly for the purposes of Christianity and what have you. But the Cossacks were speaking a different language, or at least at the moment a different dialect, than the Russians. Like there was very
Yeah, of
much a
course, because
distinction.
Ruthenian, Ruski is not the same. Ruski is not the same as Rosyjski.
Yeah. Do you speak any of those language, any Ruthenian language?
I mean, Polish shares 70% of vocabulary with Ukrainian.
I mean, I guess, but I understood that Polish was like a thing of its own, kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can understand a lot of Ukrainian. I can speak it. I can speak broken Ukrainian. I'm learning, but yeah, I can.
What-
They're mutually more understandable. Ukrainian people and Polish people can understand one another better than Russian people and Ukrainian people language-wise.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Russian had
That's why when
a
I go
very
to
particular
Ukraine, I can understand
Mhm.
a lot when people speak Ukrainian. The more people switch to Russian, then the less I understand. I start losing people when they actually start using more Russian. But when they use Ukrainian, sometimes it's so similar that it's almost like just hearing Polish.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind that in I forget the name of the province. It was Galicia, I think.
Galicia, yeah.
It used to be, when it was in Austria-Hungary,
Yeah.
a joint state of Poles and Ruthenians.
Well, keep in
were
mind
being
that
like
the
ancient Ukrainians.
the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was also that. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth basically
Yes.
had a lot of today's Ukraine in it. And there was a big interesting conference of historians, and a Ukrainian historian put forward a very nice thesis that during the Union of Lublin, do you know what the Union of Lublin was?
No, what's that?
Union of Lublin was the thing that basically created the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It was it was the union of the act of creating the union of the Kingdom of Poland and the Great Duchy of Lithuania.
I see.
And the Ukrainian historian put forward that at that time, Ruthenian nobles, of course, naturally existed already within that whole structure. And they had very distinct titles, very distinct language, etc. And the historian puts forward that those nobles were very comfortable in their way of very passive and comfortable, accepting just the way accepting things passively. But if they put forward their own sort of vision for the union, then there was not a small chance that a union of not just the Kingdom of Poland and the Duchy of Lithuania, but a free side union of the Kingdom of Poland, the Great Duchy of Lithuania, and the Duchy of Ruthenia could have been created from day one, which would have altered the course of history quite significantly.
I see. Okay, yeah.
Because then
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
have
there-
had the Ruthenian nobles that would have domain over their land, which was basically today's Ukraine, and things would have went a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe. We'd have to discount the fact that the Crimean Tatars were still there, and they probably wouldn't have liked that. But
I don't think it would have
certainly-
changed anything from the perspective of
Really?
Crimean Tatars. I mean, they were still part of at that point, they were still part of the Ottoman Empire, weren't they?
They were there, I think, but they still were doing raids into the wild fields.
Yeah,
if
they
I
were,
remember
but
right.
the creation of the Polish-Lithuanian Lithuanian
Ah.
Commonwealth would not really change anything in that regard from the
Okay,
perspective
yeah.
of the Tatars. It
So
just
they
would
could have
change
continued
the
doing.
yeah, it would just change the administrative sort of division of the country. It would give it would create this whole third separate body, the Duchy of Ruthenia, which would be part of the Union. And
I've heard
probably
that.
yeah.
Mhm. I've heard that Eastern Europeans today are very interested in creating something like that again, the Intermarium, I think it's called, which is this like belt of countries that connects the Black Sea with the uh, Adriatic, I think it's called.
It's a bit more complicated than that, I think. I don't
Yeah.
think Ukrainian people and Polish people are really interested in creating a joint country.
Well, not a joint country, but like a union. Like what the Visegrad. Of course, you know what the Visegrad group is, but something like that. But for
I mean,
more
there's already
countries.
the Lublin Triangle, if you know what that is.
What is that?
It's basically like this economic and political pact between Poland, Lithuania, and Ukraine, which harkens back to the Union of Lublin with its name, the Lublin Triangle.
Mm-hmm. What does it imply? What does it mean to be a part of the?
It was created mainly for the sake of cooperation with when it comes to what's the term, economy, as in but one of the main goals was to help Ukraine to move towards the European Union and NATO. Those were the big goals of the Lublin Triangle.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Okay.
I can even bring it up. The Lublin Triangle is still exists.
Sure. I see.
That's right. Are you tired?
No. I'm just arriving home.
The Lublin Triangle.
I guess I've underestimated the extent of continued cooperation between Poland and Ukraine.
Well, it's been a bumpy road considering certain parts of history, but it's a regional alliance of three European countries, Lithuania, Poland, and Ukraine, for the purpose of strengthening mutual military, cultural, economic, and political cooperation and supporting Ukraine's integration into the European Union and NATO. The Lublin Triangle Initiative invokes the integrative heritage of the 1569 Union of Lublin.
Okay. All right, that's good.
That's right.
So it's would you say it's like a small European Union within the European Union?
I guess.
Or
sort of.
Okay.
Some people call the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth European Union.
I would think Austria-Hungary was like a more comprehensive attempt to create that.
Sort of, but it was more of an empire. And the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was actually more of a political union that was created through a consensus rather than conquest. There's a really good book, by the way, on this topic. In English. It's called, if you really are a nerd like me, it's called The Oxford History of Poland-Lithuania, Volume 1, The Making of the Polish-Lithuanian Union. Want me to read a little bit of a summary of the book? You want me to read out the summary?
Sure. I'm listening.
The history of Eastern European is dominated by the story of the rise of the Russian Empire. Yet Russia only emerged as a major power after the 1700s For 300 years, the greatest power in Eastern Europe was the union between the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, one of the longest lasting political unions in European history. Yet, because it ended in the late 18th century in what are misleadingly termed the partitions of Poland, it barely features in standard accounts of European history. The making of the Polish-Lithuanian Union 1385 to 1569 tells the story of the formation of a consensual, decentralized, multinational, and religiously plural state, built from below as much as above, that was founded by peaceful negotiation, not war and conquest. From its inception in 1385 to 56, a vision of political union was developed that proved attractive to Poles, Lithuanians, Ruthenians, and Germans, a union which was extended to include Prussia in 1450s and Livonia in 1560s. Despite the often bitter disagreements over the nature of the union, they were nevertheless overcome by a republican vision of a union of peoples in one political community of citizens under an elected monarch. Robert Frost challenges interpretations of the Union informed by the idea that the emergence of the sovereign nation state represents the essence of political modernity, and presents the Polish-Lithuanian Union as a case study of a composite state.
Okay. All right. I would need to read the book to comment something more intelligent on that, but yeah.
Yeah, because those were
It
like the
sounds-
pre-nation state times.
Yeah, that's kind of why I would say the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was distinct, because as far as I understand, it still was like a monarchy, and it still,
Yeah.
the people who were empowered were still dukes and nobles. Whereas in Austria-Hungary, though you had monarchs still, you had identifiable nations and identifiable nationalisms.
Yeah, but you
In
didn't really
fact,
have nationalism in the Polish-Lithuanian. Yeah, Lithuania was a
yeah.
grand duchy. Yeah, it was a grand duchy.
Nationalism only ever emerges after like the 18th, 19th century, and by then I think people were eating Poland between Germans, Russians, and
Well, more
Yeah,
more
very-
accurately, the Prussians, Austrians, and Russians.
yeah.
But the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had the estates. It was an estate-based country, not a
So
nation-based.
if you had land, that meant you had like
Well, an
power to
estate
vote?
basically means class, if you will. When I say an
I see.
estate, I mean things like the nobility was an estate, peasants were an estate.
Okay, yeah. In like
Yeah.
I'm French. I understand what you mean. yeah.
And
The first estate, the second estate. Yeah.
and then Jewish people were their own estate. Interestingly enough, in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth.
Really, you had a Jewish estate? Oh,
Yeah, because you might learn once you start learning about the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Actually, Jewish people. That was when, in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, it is said, at least by some historians, that it had the biggest Jewish community in the world, and Jewish people enjoyed a golden age under the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth.
mm.
Which that golden age
Yeah.
incidentally ended with the Khmelnytsky uprising.
Mhm.
Because Khmelnytsky sort of ended up slaughtering a lot of Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
it's a very involved and big history. But I'm I'm technically speaking a history streamer, at least to some degree, so
Yeah. Excuse us, I should say, for not like looking at the chat too much. States
Yeah.
like France, yes.
These nuts greater ain't
Yeah.
honestly one of my favorite of their quotes, says fake Alec Kyle Parker after donating $5, for which I am very grateful.
Oh, you're streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. I can
I'm
only see
streaming
you
on
YouTube, sadly.
YouTube, but I also have a thing a White Forest page.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. I should probably get one of those.
Yeah, you should.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you're friends with Natsuryodai.
Uh,
We have
I
five
have to say,
mutual. We have 5
Mhm.
mutual friends on Discord. I see. Yeah, you
I
have
have
to say.
talked to Natsuryodai. She voiced a historical figure in one of my videos, but we are not like regulars nor Twitter mutuals, not anything of that sort. We're more like acquaintances.
Hmm.
I've heard she's very involved in like the Destiny space,
Mhm.
and I have my reservations with the Destiny space. I have to say.
Don't most
But,
of the people that we have mutuals
Hmm.
with, aren't most people from our mutual friendship group in the Destiny space in some capacity?
I think so, but I am not. I try to be very careful because I follow Destiny, since a very long time ago. Back
Mhm.
when I used to watch him, he used to be like a League of Legends
Oh,
streamer.
I was about
way
to
bef-
say a StarCraft streamer and Justin TV.
No, that's like
Not that
old,
long
old.
ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. God, I was like watching him when he did collabs with like Pokimane, for example,
Mhm.
with Lily Pichu, which are like the offline TV people,
Mhm.
and yeah, he was just kind of around as like the angry gamer dude, and
I think he had beefs with the StarCraft players as well when he was a StarCraft.
yeah.
There was this.
I think he's very conflict driven, and more importantly, I think that he's kind of noticed that being conflict driven has attracted a certain kind of person that's also conflict driven, that watches him not necessarily for the content of the debate,
Mhm. But for the
pleasure
excitement of the
of watching a heated conversation. Yeah,
interesting.
and I don't think that's good politics. I don't think that's good politics, and I think it creates this space where, people see themselves as like wrestlers, where they go in and
Well,
fight
you've seen my 4 hours debate. What did you think of that?
I think you are probably in homage of these kind of debates here, but the difference I see that you have is that you are very literate. So someone who talks to you can have a learning experience if they actually bother to engage you, and not just do like the humiliatement aspect of debates, right? So
Right.
it's very different when you are debating someone or talking to someone who has expertise in something, and then they can actually provide insights.
I've
Than when
debated
you are
Loner
debating
Box.
someone. Oh, really?
Yes, twice.
I don't know him that well. I've been on a stream with him, and he was just like blank faced looking at the camera. I found him very strange, but he seemed like a nice guy.
Very strange. I debated him
Yeah.
twice, and since the second debate, he's been raiding me from time to time.
I know he's collabed with one of my friends, Beast Process, making a video on Israel and Palestine.
Who
I don't.
Who did he collab with?
Beast Process, who is one of my long-time YouTube friends.
Wow.
I don't know what thought, what the relationship is like today, but yeah, I'm. That's the end of my knowledge of Stone Toss. I mean of what's his name again?
Stone Toss?
Oh, no, the guy, the
That's a-
purple guy, Lonerbox.
Stoner.
Yeah,
Stone Toss was Stone Toss is the comic book guy.
No,
I believe the bigoted comic book guy.
This is how little I know about Lonerbox. I kind of forgot who worked his name.
Hello,
But
Cordelia
yeah.
and Estelle.
Yeah, I think he's.
Do you think I should debate
I don't know.
Destiny?
I don't know. What would you want to debate him for? Like,
Trans
what's there to
rights.
debate? Is he pro-trans? Is he anti-trans? I
He's
don't know
anti.
what's the beef.
He showed pretty anti-trans women in sports stances in the past.
Ah, I see. Well, if you want to. I don't know how I feel about like the sports question, but I have to say that I'm a trans woman, but the only sports I practiced for most of my life
He's gone.
have
The
been
best sport.
like I've done individual things like running, swimming,
Oh. Do you know Go?
and gym. Go, like
Yeah.
the game,
The board
the
game.
the board game.
Yeah. That's right.
I know it. I know it.
Listen,
There
in
was a time.
Korea. Yeah, there was a time.
There was a time when I first entered my math degree where I was trying to program like a thing that could play Go, but it's so much more complicated than chess.
So you know the
Like,
rules.
No,
You know how to play it.
I know the rules. I know how to play it. Yeah,
I'm pretty good at it.
yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It's
Yeah.
and in Korea, that's why I call it a sport. In Korea, it just happens to be under the Ministry of Sports.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's right. It's being governed by sports. It's considered a sport in Korea, so that's why I say that's my sport. Oh,
I see. Is it a sport in China? Do people consider it a
it
sport?
might be. It might be.
Mhm.
And of course, I've seen the famous anime Hikaru no Go.
Hikaru no Go. I have not watched that sadly.
You should. You should. It's good. It's people get mad, but I say it's better than Death Note.
Okay, those are fighting words. I will have to like watch it and
Because
check
I
that out.
I even do the comparison because it's drawn by the same artist.
Oh.
Yeah, Hikaru no Go is the earlier manga created by this artist. The plot is written by a different person, but it's drawn by the same person. And by the end of Hikaru no Go, the characters really resemble the characters that later appear in Death Note. And of course, they've done the duo that made Death Note then went on to create another manga called Bakuman. Do you know Bakuman?
No, I don't know it.
Bakuman is basically about two young middle schoolers who decided to create manga together, and their journey to basically creating Death Note.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I've been off the manga scene for a very long time.
Those are actually
I-
pretty old titles that I'm giving you.
I know, but I'm I got into it in like 2010.
Mm-hmm.
The first
2010,
thing I
the
watched,
Smolensk plane crash year.
yeah, I watched another. Then I watched Mirai Nikki, and it gave me a
Ooh,
thing
Mirai
for abusive
Nikki, like
women.
a very
Yeah.
wow. Mirai Nikki is a pretty wacky series.
Yeah. I
would
had
say.
to work myself out of Mirai Nikki in therapy for real. But yeah.
It's a story. It's a story, that's for sure. Mirai Nikki. It's a
Mhm.
it's a thing. But yeah, as you can see, I am a very small streamer that's trying to grow.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. I will tell you that if you are someone who's very literate and very well read,
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage you to give video essays a chance. Because it is a lot more likely that someone who is interested in learning and listening goes to a video essay than a debate. Because debates, a lot of the appeal of a debate is a spectacle.
I think I might make
And-
some sort of
Mhm.
edited videos of the things I did in Ukraine, like the interviews that I've done. I've had some interviews in Ukraine with organizations.
Really?
Save Ukraine, for example, the organization that retrieves kidnapped children from Russia.
Yeah, I've heard about that there were like 20,000 kidnappees,
Yeah.
and they were like
So
crucifying
I
them.
had a
something
I had
that.
an interview with their representative. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna go to Ukraine soon again.
I encourage you to do that and pursue all your creative endeavors. Learning to edit is really worthwhile, and it will also help you as a streamer.
Oh, I am learning more in depth the editing thing. Yeah,
That is very nice. Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
I do everything myself. I draw my.
What did you debate? Oh yeah.
I draw
You're an
all
amazing
my.
artist.
Yeah, I draw all my assets. I draw my thumbnails. I've been editing segments on my own as well. I'm too poor to hire a editor.
What did you what did you debate Loner Box about?
There were two debates. One of them was about when the Holocaust started, what year. I posited that sort of we can basically count the starting point of the Holocaust as far as the Nazis coming into power in 1933. As posited by a famous Polish historian, a famous historian called where is it? What's his? I keep forgetting. Marian Turski, famous Polish historian, who also happens to be an Auschwitz survivor. So he's like 90 something at this point, I believe. And he still gives lectures. And he basically says that from his perspective, Auschwitz did not fall from the sky, yes? And that the road to Auschwitz started with small things like German people being segregated from Jewish people and benches at the park. And then, slowly those things escalating until people became desensitized. That it was like this process. And the beginning of this process, you could very well say, marks the beginning of the thing itself. Just to think about it.
I see. Okay. From my limited understanding of Holocaust historiography, I think the stance that's typically taken is that we don't really police who was or wasn't a victim of the Holocaust, because we know that a lot of people in many different ways were victimized, right? So when J.K. Rowling, for example, said that trans people weren't victims of the Holocaust, what she meant was that trans people weren't like the majority of people killed in Poland, for example, but the Holocaust did aim the extermination of a wide class of human beings that the Nazis considered social undesirables. And
we had the pink triangles after all. There's a whole book that I have on somewhere around here.
Yes.
It's called Dem. It's all about it's dedicated by a Polish author, a book about the persecution of the LGBT by the Nazi regime. It's very interesting because it sort of starts by her recollecting going to a memorial of the Holocaust in Poland, I believe, years before writing the book, and asking, hey, what are those people with pink triangles? What is that about? And the curator of the thing was like, well, there were not really many of them. They were mostly German, and they were mostly harassing other prisoners. So, hardly victims, really. And the author said that she was like, And then she
Yeah.
sort of decided to write a book giving the voice to those who are, especially in Poland, sort of forgotten about. This
Yes.
book that speaks about the victims that are not being spoken about because they're part of the group that kept being undesirable even after the Nazi regime had perished.
Yeah, ultimately, the thing is that going back to J.K. Rowling, right? Like she argued that she didn't engage in Holocaust denial because gay people were not the main target of the Holocaust. But the thing is that the gay people in general were, and if you start tracking like the beginning of Nazi violence towards LGBT people going back to Weimar, right? You can make very concrete arguments that the road to Auschwitz in the case of LGBT began even earlier than the Nazi takeover of the Bundeswehr.
Yeah, because
And,
because
yeah.
I'm blanking out on the number of the paragraph because it all revolved around a very specific paragraph that was anti-LGBT, and this paragraph existed already in the German Empire. I'm blanking out on the one moment. Okay, maybe I'll find the book.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you dig for it. But yeah, I mean, my point at large is that. Yeah, it's fine.
I think it was 175. I think it was 175. I have to check.
Yeah.
It existed in the German Empire already. It was it kept existing. It was fought against with the Weimar Republic, and then it was continued expanded upon in Nazi Germany. Hold on. Yes, I actually remembered correctly. 175. It was paragraph 175. Let's go to the English wiki. Paragraph 175, known as blah blah, was a provision of the German Criminal Code. It made sexual relations between males a crime, and in early revisions, the provision also criminalized bestiality, as well as forms of prostitution and underage sexual abuse. Overall, around 140,000 men were convicted under the law. And paragraph 175 was adopted in 1871, shortly after Germany was unified. So, because you can see, it started out in the German Empire, and there is this because the old Polish government, right before this government, was very anti-LGBT. And the people that took part in the Warsaw Uprising actually protested about this, and they invoked the pink triangle. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a video. Are you ready? I'm gonna.
Yeah. You can tell me to fuck off if you want, by the way. But were your parents on the Warsaw Uprising? Like, do you have family that was involved in it?
I can what? I can tell you to what?
You can ignore me if you want with this question, but do you have family that was in the Warsaw Uprising?
In the Warsaw Ghetto and the Warsaw Uprising. Yeah.
Either or, now that you mention it.
But yeah, I did. There was a member of my
see.
family that died in the Warsaw Uprising, yeah.
That's sad to hear, but I'm glad they were standing up against Nazism.
Well, I'm a Schrödinger Jewish person. There's a reason why I add the Schrödinger part. But my family had, I think the biggest bakery in the entirety of Warsaw before the war.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and was smack in the middle of the ghetto.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And what was the second debate about?
The second debate was about. Okay, I'm gonna quickly show you the video first. Okay, I'm streaming.
Okay,
it.
sure.
I'm streaming it. Ready? Okay, I'm gonna make the game. I'm gonna make the game quiet. Okay, ready?
Okay, I see it. Okay.
Okay, I have to turn the sound on.
Stavska. I see this word a lot. What does it mean?
Jesus, why is it? Why does it keep muting? That's what the hell. Okay, what the hell's wrong with this video? The sound just won't stay on. Okay, you know what? I'm
So
gonna find
sad.
this video somewhere else. Whatever. I'm gonna find it not on.
Sure thing.
There you go. YouTube. There you go. It will work now.
My, uczestniczki Powstania Warszawskiego,
We, the people that took part in the Warsaw Uprising,
protestujemy, bo
we protest because
pamiętamy.
we remember.
Najpierw był
First, there was the Pink Triangle, the homosexual
And
prisoners,
różowy
Soviet.
trójkąt, potem gwiazda,
and then the Star of David,
a na końcu my,
Gypsy.
and at the end we.
powstańcy.
tamten faszyzm pochłonął
O.
miliony istnień.
That fascism took the lives of millions of people,
A teraz, gdy się mówi, że osoby LGBT to nie ludzie,
and now the government says that the LGBT are not people.
otwiera się równie przerażającą perspektywę
An equally terrifying perspective is opening
wykluczenia.
W czasie
of exclusion.
powstania walczyliśmy o szacunek i godność dla wszystkich ludzi.
During the uprising, we fought for the dignity and respect for all people.
Dla wszystkich.
For all people.
Nie bądź obojętny.
Do not be indifferent.
My,
And that's the video. You know?
Okay, that's very nice. Yeah, all right.
And the second debate was about Israel Palestine, actually.
Oh, I see.
Because the Loner Bugs debated Kevin Logan. I watched that debate and I will admit that I'm not as knowledgeable about this particular conflict as I would want to. I'm much more I'm much more knowledgeable about the Russia-Ukraine war.
I am a subscriber to the Haaretz newspaper, and I've been following it
And but I
since they.
basically I had certain disagreements, like Loner Box said in that debate that I reviewed, that things like depriving Gaza of electricity does not constitute a war crime, and I sort of disagree with that.
I will say that defining what a war crime is like something that's mostly in the land of jurists. And the cool thing about this being in the land of jurists is that judicial opinion, once it's emitted, is very matter of fact and very strict.
Sort of,
Like, you
but
know,
I
if
sort of avoid this line of reasoning because I am aware how this functioned within history. If you go back to, like, I'm a subscriber of the thought of Lemkin, Rafał Lemkin, you know, the creator of the Genocide Convention,
Okay.
the person that wrote it, that not all laws are necessarily good, and if you want certain change, you have to even change the law or make the law. Because, for example, yeah?
I would agree with that, but
Because I'm going to give you
the
a pretty
law-
big example of a thing that was a matter of fact and was pretty, well, Lemkin created his whole genocide convention in order to combat that, basically. So, you know when the Armenian genocide happened, right?
yes, during
Some
the
of the-
First World War.
Some of the perpetrators of the Armenian genocide were basically then made persona non grata and thrown away from the country or had to run away themselves. And there was this situation in which one of the survivors of the Armenian genocide saw that perpetrator and he killed him, right? and he got arrested
Uh-huh.
for it and sentenced for killing that perpetrator of the genocide that he survived, right? And Lemkin sort of asked his colleague, who was also a lawyer, why is it that the people that perpetrated this crime of killing so many people were fine and nothing happened to them, but a victim that survived, that killed the perpetrator, got arrested and punished, right?
Mm,
And the
okay.
answer to that question was, you see, it's because of nation sovereignty. It's because, I'll give you an example. If there's an owner of a pack of chicken, right? A chicken sort of, that, you know, you have your chicken, then the owner of the
Yeah, a
chicken
coop.
can, a coop of chicken, can kill the chicken as he pleases because he's the owner of the chicken. But because that's his property, it's like the sovereignty over the chicken. But if a third party person sort of tries to intervene, they're breaking the law because they're intervening with someone else's property, the chicken. And that is the same basic principle. Like before World War II, it was within the law a matter of fact that it was the business of each individual state, a matter of their own sovereignty, what they do with their citizens. So they could commit genocide within their borders, and it would be perfectly fine, perfectly within the right of sovereignty. And that is exactly why during the Nuremberg trials, you might find this trivia very interesting, no Nazi soldiers or no Nazi people were actually tried for killing Jewish people within Germany, because that was still considered at that point part of Germany's sovereignty.
Yeah, the Holocaust was mostly carried out in Poland. Yeah.
No, that's not the point. That's not. No. That's not the point at all.
The point being that
Nazis killed. The Nazis killed German Jewish people, but
but
the Nazis were never tried for that crime because that was considered part of. It doesn't
in
matter.
order to prosecute them,
you know, yeah.
Like you're saying that in order to prosecute them, they had to go on charges outside of Germany.
No, they were not. They were not charged for killing those people at all.
Yeah.
Because that was considered a part of Germany's internal affairs of German sovereignty.
Yeah, but let me run you through a parallel argument for what we might say about war crimes today. Closer to the present. Do you largely agree with the Charter of the United Nations Charter of Human Rights?
I would say so.
Or do you have? Okay, yeah. Out of the Charter of Human Rights, we have the Geneva Conventions, and the Geneva Conventions rule the conditions of war crimes, argued from what would be maximally harmful to human rights from the perspective of invading armies, right? So what we do with the Charter is that we try to conduct war in a way that, if inevitable, is just, right? Conduct war. If war is inevitable, the point of the Geneva Conventions is that war is conducted in a manner that is just. And the current International Court of Justice, whenever it rules on war crimes, it does using those two main documents, which is the Geneva Conventions and the Charter of Human Rights of the UN.
Of course, you have like this separate other body that's called the International Criminal Court that uses its own additional document.
Yeah, the ICC uses the Rome Statute as well. But the thing is that if you broadly agree with those three documents in the matter of like the rights that they provide, then generally the rulings of the court come from a place of merit and not from a place of pure legalism. I guess that's what I would try to say. So if you agree with the Rome Statute, with the Geneva Conventions, and
from what I've read,
Universal...
I would largely agree. Yeah. From what
I've read. So I'm not sure if you're aware, but South Africa presented a document accusing Israel of
Yeah, I know about
being
that. Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
about that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and the court found them guilty under those pretenses. So
Well, the court found who
at
guilty?
Israel, like
Well,
they
no,
were
they didn't find
declared.
them guilty. They said that that there's a plausibility there for continued investigation. No,
Yeah,
they didn't find them guilty of genocide.
they said that the accusation had
Merit, yes,
to warrant
an
yeah,
investigation.
like
That's not
an
the same as
investigation.
finding them guilty. Exactly. You know,
Yeah, but
that's still like way away from that conclusion.
But the thing, one of the items listed in the accusation of the South Africans was precisely that about, restricting a people's ability to access resources.
Right, and electricity would be among them. Yeah.
And electricity would be among them. Yeah, there are also other things that you could consider forms of like.
Because I guess Lonerbox's argument was that electricity is not really a necessity, and I argued that it is because there are many things. There are many crucial parts of infrastructure that actually depend on electricity. Things like life support systems in hospitals and other things like that. That's sort of that. After all, like it did become a pretty big crisis when the electricity was cut off in hospitals with those life support systems.
I am not sure if electricity is a right in the Universal Declaration, but Human Rights Watch, if I remember right, criticized Lebanon in 2023 for not providing the right to electricity to its citizens. So at least from the perspective of the Human Rights Watch, depriving someone of electricity is deprivation from a right.
Right.
So, I guess you could argue that energy infrastructure is a valid target in a war. So if you're, for example, bombing the oil factories of the Germans, then you are targeting something that aids their war effort, and that's true.
But now we're entering the territory of discussing Russia bombing Ukrainian electricity sort of generators, etc.
Yes.
And Russians trying to freeze Ukrainian people over the winter. And I don't know. I've experienced the blackouts, and it's not a nice.
You're right about that. But I think the thing is that you can hold Israel to a standard that you can't hold Russia here, because from the point of view of the Russians, they're not in open war with Ukraine. They're calling this like a special military operation.
Of course, that stuff was sad, but we all know that. But...
Yeah. Like we all know its scope. We all know they're basically coping that it's a war. That if you're doing a special military operation and you have lost more than 200,000 people, like that's.
I mean, the invasion of Czechoslovakia. The invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968 was also called a special military operation, just so we're clear, and was done under the same pretense of the expansion of NATO. By the way.
Yeah, my ultimate point is that Israel is at war. Russia is at war, but it does not recognize itself at war. So, what Russia should be doing in a special military operation should be something a lot more targeted.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they are targeting civilians pretty specifically.
Yeah, but that's not something you do in a war. Yeah. Yeah, no, so Russia is not conducting itself in a way that is just in terms of war. And what I would say in terms of like Israel is that there are many things that constitute war crimes. That electricity might be one of them, but for example, I think that the American Department of Defense, in its military doctrine, has a bullet point that says that they cannot create booby traps or devices that put at risk, for example, children.
Are we talking about
with
the
kind of threats.
current pager thing?
That would be one example of them, but in the past, Israel has also put bombs in toys and things like that. So, it's something that they have done before, in Gaza, that, they're also targeting cultural places of importance. There have been many of the first Christian churches in the world have been destroyed during this invasion of Gaza. There
Right.
were many. There were, I think, 2 big public universities in Gaza.
Yeah.
Both of them have been bombed. The school year started for most children recently in August or September, depending on the country that you are. Gaza is unable to restart courses because lots of schools are destroyed. And even if they were open, children wouldn't be able to go.
Interesting enough, we
So-
also sort of debated certain quotes from the Israeli government, with Loner Box, which basically my point was that the Israeli government is basically saying, look at those Palestinians. We're basically forced to kill them. They're forcing us to kill them. We have no choice. We have to bomb them and kill them. Since they're like,
No, I don't think that's right. yeah.
Since they're like, there are many pretty interesting quotes. There was like, I think of Gavir, Ben Gavir. There was an associate of Ben Gavir, I believe, who said recently that not everything that the Nazis did was bad, and that Europe has a pretty big Roma problem. So, you know.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That's a statement and a half. And the bigotry against Roma people is a whole other subject that we could be talking about for hours. Basically, the normalization of hate against Roma populations all around Europe.
Yeah, I will have to say that, in my case, I am not Jewish, nor am I Palestinian. So ultimately, it's not up to me to say what kind of solution I support when it comes to the one-state solution, the two-state solution, whatever. But what I do care about is that negotiations happen. Like my place as someone living in the wider international communities, acknowledging the fact that this conflict will end with a peace treaty, and they want us to get closer to the moment where we are signing the peace treaty than otherwise. That's also my opinion with Russia and Ukraine. I would like there to be like a peace treaty as soon as possible. But in the case of Russia and Ukraine, I do recognize that Ukraine needs to like get its land back first before that can happen.
The peace treaty with Russia is a pretty. I mean, I guess you could also make that argument with Israel, but I'm just more familiar with this particular conflict, and it's a
the thing is that a treaty can always be broken, right? Because a treaty is built.
It has been broken before.
On the reputation of the countries that sign it. Russia broke the Minsk agreements, for example.
We also broke the Budapest Memorandum.
The Budapest Memorandum as well. But ultimately, the responsibility to enforce a treaty with a country like Israel, for example, does not befall Israel alone as much as it befalls its allies, because it is a country that is incredibly dependent on foreign aid.
Yes.
Incredibly dependent on foreign aid.
It's like it is, in that respect, it is a different situation in which I would say the US especially has a lot of leverage over Israel,
Yes, and in a different version of the United States that was more concerned with justice, I think all the weapons that they're giving to the Israelis would be given to the Ukrainians.
Right, and you could make a case also that some of that funds that go to Israel could be used to bolster Taiwan.
On Taiwan, I'm more divided.
Oh,
But
interesting.
we
Are we
could
gonna
have a-
divide?
we
Are
could
we
have a-
gonna debate Taiwan? Why are you
Do you
debate?
want to?
Why are you divided on Taiwan? What's wrong with Taiwan?
I am generally of the opinion that the current state of Taiwan
Mhm.
is the result of a civil war that has not ended. And from the perspective of both factions of the civil war, we are currently in a legal limbo where we don't know what has been the resolution of the conflict, right? And if Taiwan exists as it does today, it is out of the United States sponsoring its continued existence. And it has sponsored its continued existence not only as a democratic state, which, today it's a democracy,
It's a
but
democracy, yeah.
also as a dictatorship that existed mostly to do Chinese containment back when, Taiwan wasn't a democracy. So
But I would make
in
an
a s-
argument that
Mhm.
Taiwanese people
Mhm.
have fought pretty hard to change the state of affairs, that it's not a dictatorship anymore, that it is a democracy, and that I think that state of
I
affairs
agree.
is worth preserving. Like, you could make the
I
same
agree.
argument on Ukraine, no? It has not always been a perfect democracy, and it still is not a perfect democracy, but it's still worth preserving, worth helping.
I agree, but let's say we time traveled to like 1979, for example. What would be your position on Taiwan then? Like, would you support reunification with China?
No.
Would you say the U.S. is right to continue its sponsorship? What
In
would
fact,
be
when
your
did
position?
the US even accept the mainland China as China? What year was
The
that?
U.S., I think, started abiding by the One China policy during Richard Nixon's term.
Because I
when
believe
Nixon,
at first Taiwan was considered China by the US, and the mainland
Yes.
was considered the. In fact,
Taiwan
let's see.
continues to claim it's China. Taiwan continues to claim it's China.
Oh, you've been given by a chatter, by my favorite chatter, you've been given a counter argument. Here's a counter argument. Taiwan did change since its conception. In fact, had been very much changing since the 90s, getting away from its very abusive past of the local indigenous, a very abusive past of abusing the local indigenous population, and that by itself gives a right for the existence, especially that these rights are cut out of current China.
I would agree in the sense that, Taiwan today is very much a country that you can argue has the means to position itself in favor of a type of self-determination, since it has a democracy and people vote and all of these things. But what we need to understand is that to get to the point that it got here today, it needed to be, in a previous version of the state, complicit with being like an American airstrip that existed for the purposes of Chinese containment, right? Like, this is why I'm saying, would you make the same argument for the continued existence of Taiwan if we were in the 1970s, for example? From the perspective of China, this is like a piece of the country that was occupied.
But again,
and then,
you could go back and make the same argument about Ukraine, no?
How would you make this argument for Ukraine? I'm curious.
Well, you would go back to any past time when Ukraine was under a far more dictatorshipy regime, and say that would it be okay to support it since it would just be used as a tool to contain Russia?
No. Here's how I would make that argument in distinction. The reason is that within the Soviet Union, what you had was...
No, I'm talking about post-91.
Yeah. Yeah. In order to get to post-91, for the Soviet Union, You see, we need to observe the fact that the Soviet Union was like a union of republics,
Mm-hmm.
and Ukraine was one of those republics. It had like a defined border within that union of republics, and it had an administration that was separate from the federative Soviet administration within those republics. And when Ukraine declares independence, and it's an independence that was recognized by Russia at the moment of separation, you know, Russia recognized a state of Ukraine, and Ukraine recognized the state of China, and they even had like legal agreements where they agreed to give away nuclear bombs in exchange for certain promises that later were broken. But you know, the point is that at some point in history, Russia recognized the existence of a Ukrainian state, even if today it's violating its borders. But China has never recognized the existence of an independent Taiwan.
Well, but the problem is that
And-
the problem
Mhm.
with that argument, on the other hand, is
Uh-huh.
that from the perspective of the world at the beginning, Taiwan was China and the mainland China was not China.
Yeah.
So you could make that argument,
Yeah.
no?
I-
That it was Taiwan
I-
that never recognized mainland China as the true China, and then you get you flip the argument
I
on its
see.
head. If you assume
Um,
that those who escaped from mainland China were, you know,
I would say that would be just like American cope by large hand, because would you, with all the seriousness of the world, stand in front of Taiwan and say, "Oh yeah, China, the ancient civilization that is smaller than the state of Florida."
I mean,
like,
we go into
uh,
an argument when the Polish government escaped during World War II and they escaped to England. They established an underground state during the war in Poland. It was a fully functional underground state, I think one of its kind in Europe. And then
yes.
and then it functioned after the war, even after Poland became basically a socialist satellite state of the USSR. Did that government become illegitimate at that point?
Was that
in
government?
England?
Did that government ever become the official government of Poland?
It continued being the official government of Poland. In
So
exile, a
when-
government in exile.
Okay, so when the Soviet Union, when the, more generally, right, like when the Berlin Wall falls, when the Warsaw Pact dissolve, did that government become the government?
That
Or-
government sort of gave sort of the symbols of power to the newly established government to establish a continuation between them.
Okay, then they weren't the new government, right? They just gave a validation for the new Polish state.
Yeah,
to
but
form.
Poland sort of recognizes the continuation between itself and that government in exile still.
But does it not recognize
It's actually the
itself?
exact same with Ukraine, by the way. The Ukrainians,
but-
People's Republic, also creates this continuation of presidents.
Does
Yeah.
Does Poland not recognize itself in continuation with communist Poland?
Not
Like, do
entirely,
they?
no.
That's
They
interesting.
considered Poland not to be a sovereign country at that point and to be occupied by the USSR.
That's so interesting.
Poland
I don't think that
is not
every
considered. Poland basically consider itself not a free country during those times of being socialist, not a sovereign country.
Whoa. Okay, then I guess opinions might differ on this, because as far as I know, Germany, for example, does consider itself a continuation of both the DDR and the FDR. So I guess that might be like a particularity, but to land the topic back on Taiwan, what I would say is that at the moment, we are in an inconclusive civil war, in the same way that, there is a dispute about which China is the actual Republic of China.
Well, I'm not actually even making an argument that one of them is the actual. I'm making an argument that about
Mm.
supporting sort of Taiwan, that I'm not sure if the mainland China never recognizing Taiwan should be
Mm.
considered a significant factor.
You're right, but I will pull the camera back like maybe 100 years and tell you that what we have in China and Taiwan is a frozen conflict, right?
Mhm.
We have a frozen conflict where, kind of like Ukraine in 2014, right? Where a side claims something, the other side claims another, as far as a piece of land goes, but neither side agrees on the resolution, but they agree on a ceasefire.
Because you could make an argument
And-
that
Mhm.
Sorry, continue.
And then the particularity of Taiwan is then that it exists in this space of legal ambiguity,
Mhm.
and Taiwan can only continue to have like its current republican status by continuing that ambiguity. So what that means is that there's a part of the world that insists on non-legality in order to continue its legality, which is kind of paradoxical if you see what I mean.
Maybe yes, but I'm a very simplistic
Mhm.
person, and as someone pointed out I'm a simpleton, and as someone in the chat has pointed out, right now you have de facto fascist China versus democratic Taiwan, and I'm a very big fan of democracy, much like a certain politician called Palpatine. I love democracy, and I just think it should be, preserved and defended. I'm a very pro-Taiwan person.
I understand that and I respect that. Like, I think that the self-determination of the people of Taiwan has to be respected in whatever agreement ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that, the Chinese claim is not illegitimate, and that we need to understand a bit that from their perspective, they are fighting an inconclusive civil war that has been perpetuated by a foreign power, and that perpetuation has gone on so long that there's they installed like an unofficial government in something they consider a part of their territory, right? So it's like when the Russians put this not puppet, but like weird administration on top of Crimea.
Sure,
and
but
then we could wait 100 years, and I think Destiny has made this argument, right? That you wait 100 years, the Crimeans all think that they are Russians. They're happy with Russia.
Crimea is a more
then
complicated case to begin with, because let's remember, Crimea wasn't just part of Ukraine. Bam, end of story. Crimea was had a autonomous status within Ukraine to begin with. It was a compromise between Ukraine and Russia. It had a certain amount of autonomy, but I believe that like one could still make that same argument about Russia, because I could very easily make an argument by looking at history, by looking at what's happening now, that the only reason why Russia recognized Ukraine as a separate sovereign state was because it was simply forced to. It didn't have any other choice at the time.
Maybe, but what I would tell you
the
is that there was
political situation was just that Russia was just not in a state after the fall of the Soviet Union to just declare, no, you're not actually a separate thing, you're part of us.
Yeah.
Especially if they could not fight Ukraine and just keep them within their sphere of influence, which at the time seemed that it would happen, since Ukraine, right after leaving the Soviet Union, became part of the CIS initiative.
You are completely right, but even then, the thing that we have to recognize that is
like it would be the equivalent would be Taiwan being separate by saying,
Uh-huh.
you know, we will keep within your sphere of influence, China. We will sort of enter a big cooperative with you that will include commerce, that will
You,
include, you know, we're basically
yeah, yeah, yeah.
brotherly nations, and we will
You
enter
are
this. Yeah.
you are not wrong, but you are making an argument of pragmatics. I am making an argument of pragmatics and law. In my argument of pragmatics and law, what I'm saying is that regardless of what Russia wanted, Russia signed a declaration back when Khrushchev was governing the Soviet Union that said that Crimea was Ukraine and that Ukraine was a separate federative republic from Russia. In the case of China, they never agreed to Taiwan being not part of their territory. And
Yeah, but
to this day,
I'm not
both
sure.
Chinese governments claim to be the legitimate governments of China.
I'm not sure if that's
right?
even a very good argument to make. I don't think a single state should be a dictator
Mhm.
of what the law is regarding other states. Keep in mind, Germany and Russia never agreed after World War One, never actually really agreed that Poland was a legitimate state. Germany and Russia, from which
Mhm.
the so-called Second Polish Republic was carved out, considered Poland to be a fabrication, a fake country.
Yes, but back in that time, we didn't have a framework of international law, and now we do.
I mean, we sort of
And
did.
in
It
the
was lesser than now, but we
uh,
sort of had a framework by then.
Well, let's go by the standard that today we have a framework of international law.
Mhm.
If you have a frozen conflict, then and then neither side agrees to who is who,
Mhm.
then I would think that we would understand the situation as a kind of controversy. If Taiwan declares independence and Taiwan wants to be like a thing of its own, I would say that the Taiwanese have a right to self-determination, but they have to make that decision, and they have to declare to China, we want to be a territory in secession, and take that to the consequences it might take them, or negotiate a diplomatic exit
Yeah.
with
And
China
that
to whatever they want to
Hong
do.
Kong is a pretty good argument that China has agreed to a system, two system situation with Hong Kong,
like
but the
China
promise was broken.
Yeah, I will tell you certainly that I'm not a fan of Xi Jinping.
Mhm.
I think previous Chinese leaders respected the architecture of the Chinese Republic more than he does. He is Putinizing China, to put it one way. And I don't like the direction that he's taking it.
Mhm.
But I will underline, though, that regardless of who is the governor of China, the president of China, or the commissariat of the party, I will say that the Taiwanese claim exists kind of beyond that,
Mhm.
So what I would like is that it's resolved peacefully.
I'm not really sure if China will ever agree to that. I'm not sure if you've seen Chinese declarations during various security conventions that have been happening throughout this year, when Chinese representatives said very boldly and very openly, if you want global security, an independent Taiwan cannot be suffered to exist. They said it almost word for word as I've said it now.
Yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why both parties want to continue the status quo, sadly.
Right, I believe China is building up towards shaking up that status quo.
It is, yeah, under Xi, and that is very disappointing. I think that if Xi actually takes the initiative and attacks Taiwan, I would completely oppose that, and then we would be in like a Ukraine situation.
Yeah,
where
basically. That's why I'm saying that money from Israel should be taken from Israel and used to bolster Taiwan. That's the argument that we've opened with.
Yeah,
As a deterrence, as a
I-
deterrence for China not to do that bad move.
Maybe. I guess what I would like to see is a resolution of the conflict where China and Taiwan agree to either integration, one country, two systems, or independence to Taiwan.
I would
But
I would probably say
in
the second one is better since Hong Kong has burned on that first solution.
yeah,
But-
But ultimately, it needs, you know, inserting weapons into the equation escalates the situation on both sides.
Perhaps, but
I
unfortunately, as
think-
long as
uh,
China, because keep in mind, China is
Mm.
escalating itself. China is taking escalatory action, and that there are
Yes.
only so many things that can be done in response. I think that the U.S. can either match that escalation to sort of give a clear message: we're not abandoning Taiwan, and if you're gonna try to escalate, we're just gonna match it, and you're just not gonna go anywhere with this line of politics.
Okay.
And the
Yeah, no,
second
you're-
thing is they could just straight up tell China without even escalating, we can escalate. We will. Don't escalate yourself, because if you will, we will match it. So don't even try it. But that would be a
Okay,
far more
so-
aggressive policy. So
Yeah. so let me see if I get your position right. You like the idea of the United States as, like, you know, this third party in the room
backing
that
Taiwan, yeah,
makes
yeah, of course.
that makes sure that negotiations happen, and that the two other people in the room don't beat each other up. That's kind of how you see it.
Or rather, that
Don't you-
one person in the room
Mhm.
does not, quite frankly, bully the other into submission.
Right. And don't you think that? Do you think that the U.S. is doing this out of, like, the kindness of their hearts?
Well,
Or do they?
I don't think it matters. At the end of the day, it helps preserve Taiwanese democracy, and that's all that matters to me. The motives
I
of the
see.
United States when it comes to that help, they are sort of at this juncture secondary to me. I have
And
no
what would-
naive sort of.
Uh-huh.
There's no naivety in me that says the U.S. is a kind and noble country that does it to, you know, defend
Okay.
freedom, justice, and the American way.
Okay. But then what would have been your opinion when, like, Chiang Kai-shek, for example, was the sole was the dictator of Taiwan?
It depends,
the
because
Republic of
therein enter cold pragmatic politics that go outside of the whole moral equation, right? Like when Taiwan was a dictatorship, you'd probably not want to sort of support that. But the question is, would you want to in turn support the mainland China?
I would have. I'm speaking as a Latin American, for example, that there was a time when the first Marxist president was elected in Chile, who was Salvador Allende. And he came to a government legitimately. He won the election in, like, a democratic system with electors. He formed a government and what have you. But then he was overthrown with the assistance of the CIA by Augusto Pinochet.
Yes.
And then, you know, imagine you had overthrown Pinochet, and then your choice was between supporting the Chilean, like, Marxist underground rebels,
That's right.
or Pinochet, who was providing, like, stability.
Well,
And then you get into this situation where, okay, who do you support, right? Like, then if it's a question of pragmatics.
But of course, I'm speaking as from the perspective of a Polish person, and as you know, the systems that existed within this part of the world that also were copied to a certain degree by China were not something that I would want to support necessarily.
I see. Your hair is very pretty, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I like it. Let me. Okay, so if I get your argument right, you're saying that. Okay, so as a Polish person doing like Polish Ostpolitik, I think
Yeah.
your argument is that the world will always have like these big geopolitical interests.
Well, that's more
And,
like
you know,
like I can
whatever-
understand the plight of the Taiwanese people since Poland has been in a pretty similar situation, or even worse because
I
it's
see.
been sort of under the thumb of foreign empires. Then the world at large did not recognize the validity of Poland existing as a state. There was a whole
I see.
holy alliance between the three empires that decided that if people in this area should want to create anything, we should join up and squash them together as a team.
I see. Okay, I agree.
You know?
Well, yeah. And I guess you see like a parallel between that experience and the Taiwanese experience.
Yeah, I see that
And then
as
your
like a
argument is-
fight for their own
uh,
sort of land, their own freedom, and I think that's worth supporting
Yeah.
ultimately.
And then your additional argument would be, you know, I don't necessarily care if there's like, you know, what the great powers are doing, but if Napoleon is protecting Poland, then I'm siding with Napoleon, right?
At the
That's kind of
moment,
your
yes. Let's put it that way. If I have a
Okay.
choice between the US influence and being in Russian sphere of influence, I will of course choose Poland being in the US sphere of influence. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then I guess you are what we might call a defensive neo-realist. In
Neo-realist.
international, in international
think-
relations.
Listen, I just today I've heard a sentence that is the most perfect sentence in the world. I've heard it from a book, Economics User's Guide. I'm not sure if you're familiar. And the book and the author says the best sentence in the world. Okay? I'm gonna paraphrase it because I don't remember it because my memory is like Swiss cheese. No theory explains everything. No theory is good for everything, but all theories have their strong points and weak points. You know? And I would say that applies to
Yeah.
international relations. I would say that depending on a single school is a mistake, and I would say that a more robust sort of looking into a wider pool of schools of international relations and seeing what from them is a strong point and what of them are the weak points is like
That is a very academic response, and I love it. Yeah, like the ideologies are your tools in a laboratory. rather
basically
than the
yeah.
scientists.
They're the lens of analysis, you could even say.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Then I guess here we might be in a bit of an impasse then, because
I think I
you
won.
said-
I think I won.
okay, I guess your point is that you would rather side from the pragmatics with a system that you think is better able to provide like a certain cadre of rights and freedoms, let's say,
Yeah.
that you prefer to the alternative.
To the alternative.
What I would say is that ultimately I am in the side of the resolution of conflicts when it comes to the full application of justice. And for the full application of justice, you can't have legal limbos. And that's kind of my that's kind of where I'm coming from. But if you are saying that you value more the possibility that Taiwan can continue to develop in this way that it's developing, then there's probably nothing I can say to convince you then, because your values are pretty much in the side of Taiwan continuing what it's doing, whether what it's doing ultimately serves some like higher ideal of international Puritan justice, right?
Mhm.
So yeah.
I think it's about respecting what the people themselves want in Taiwan, and they've chosen democracy, and they've, you know.
Let me problematize that argument a bit with like a little thing. Do you think the American South had a right to secede based on self-determination?
No.
Why not? Okay,
Because
I'll let you answer.
I would say that they. I wouldn't even say those are a bit different situations, because the South was sort of part of the Union willingly. They sort of created this country together, and Taiwan was basically wasn't the island basically conquered to begin with, if we go far back enough.
Yeah, but at the time that the Civil War happened, it was like part of China. I'll tell
Well,
you how
again,
I'll
we
answer it.
entered the it was a power struggle between two types of governments. One government retreated to the
Yeah.
islands and declared themselves that they rule China from the island, right?
I will tell you how I will answer the question of the American South. How I would answer the question of the American South is that
Mhm.
the people of the South had a right to self-determination, as pretty much any person in the world, individual or not, has a right to self-determination.
Right.
But you can exercise your self-determination in ways that are congruent with a wider sense of law or a wider sense of justice. So you can use your self-determination to do just things, and you can use your self-determination to do things that are unjust. And if you're using your self-determination to do things that are unjust,
Slavery, for example.
then yeah. So if you are seceding, for example, to preserve slavery,
Mhm.
you could make the argument that no, that's unjust. Even though you're exercising your self-determination, then this is not something that
Right,
should be
yeah.
pursued because your ends are against justice.
I thought about
So you're
this
making-
argument, but I wasn't sure if I should go for it.
Yeah. You are what the South did was basically argue that they had the right to bend the right in order to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And when I look at Taiwan, that's kind of what I see a little bit. That they are using the argument that they want to continue a political project regardless of what, a wider sense of international justice would be. And I guess you will disagree with me because what you would say is that ultimately Taiwan is better off with the United States, even if it's not joining China. But there's where we will have like a fundamental difference, right? Because I think we should take things to like their ultimate conclusions. In their ultimate conclusions, I think that Ukraine should be independent from Russia and respect its territorial integrity because of the Minsk agreements and because of things that they argued in the past. In the case of Palestine, I think the Palestinians have a right to self-determination, and Israel is repeatedly and strategically violating that right of self-determination. But with Taiwan, you have a situation that's kind of different, and that's my general description of why. If you see in each situation, I am arguing from both self-determination and law, and not only self-determination.
Well, I'm not
But
entirely sure that if because again, by that sort of legal standard, Poland should not have been after World War One.
No, I think it should have been because the Poles had a national consciousness.
I mean, the Taiwanese have developed one as well, no?
Yeah, but the thing with Poland is that Poland, you can look at it as a culture that existed in a continuum that used to have states. And
yeah, but that is a mistake because the Polish national identity is something that developed after the partitions, which is a thing that we should all remember very keenly.
Okay, yeah, I will accept that. You're completely right that even national identities are things that develop in a continuum, and you can never cut like a moment in history and say this is where the national identity developed and things like that. But what I would tell you that makes this situation a bit different is that we could have had a Poland under this framework, right? Like Poland has a right. Well, this is a more complicated
Well,
argument.
that is
I believe
because oh my gosh, what is the name of the what is the name of
I
the
forget, I
island?
forget.
What is the name of the island on which Taiwan sits?
Formosa?
Taipei?
Uh,
No, Jesus.
No, Taipei is the city, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
capital
yeah, yeah.
of Taiwan.
God,
Yeah.
Taiwan. Because keep in mind,
Formosa.
yeah,
The
because
Portuguese.
there was because keep in mind, if you go that route, then you could say in Taiwan there was a thing that formed before, sort of a separate country that the Formosa thing, and that you could say that was a proto Taiwan, and by the same token, Taiwan was something that could have been, no?
The very sad thing is that Formosa was a Portuguese colony, so no, I don't think so.
Well, it was the
Uh-huh.
thing that I'm talking about is more like a thing that formed opposed the Japanese, and there was a whole thing.
Yeah. There were indigenous people. I guess historiographers would disagree on whether those indigenous people had something like a state.
Oh, they
But
sort
yeah,
of
there
had,
were
yeah.
indigenous people, and they really disliked the Japanese. Like, in fact, the Kuomintang, which is like the conservative party of Taiwan that keeps insisting that they are part of China and is the most like pro reunification party, has the votes of the indigenous people in Taiwan,
You're not even
by
wrong.
and large, because they are.
But you could make
By and
that
large-
argument, that historical argument, that this proto sort
No,
of
no.
Taiwan state existed, and that could mean that just as Poland could have existed, Taiwan also could have existed.
Yeah. I'm making a separate point, which is that
Yeah.
these indigenous people that vote for the Kuomintang largely vote for the KMT because they are remembered as the anti-Japanese party,
Mhm.
right? That they fought the Japanese out of Taiwan, and the Japanese were terrible to the Taiwanese natives.
Well, the
So-
Japanese were terrible to everybody when they were
Yeah,
an empire, basically. Nobody remembers the Japanese empire fondly.
Yeah.
In Asia,
I'm making a
at least.
video on Japan soon.
Oh, by the way,
that's going to be very challenging.
Poland during World War II declared war on Japan, and Japan basically rejected it.
Like,
Yeah, they
no,
were like,
you're
yeah,
not
we understand, Poland. Wink, you're declaring war on us. We know you're brainwashed by the West. We're buddies still. It's okay. We get it. Yeah, we're at war. Wink, wink. We're at war. We understand. It's all good. That is actually what
Okay.
happened. Factually, historically, you
sad.
can look it up.
Yeah, okay. I'll be making a video on Japan soon, so
I can add it as trivia.
maybe. Yeah, maybe you can. If you watch it, I can come back and we can discuss it if you like.
Yeah, of course. More cooperation
well,
is good.
I think I will have to take my leave soon. I hope
Me
you
too.
enjoyed this conversation.
I did.
I found
It was
you
supposed to be
very-
very. Yep. You find me very.
No. I find you very intelligent, and I wish you a lot of success in
Thank
all
you
the
very
things
much.
that you're doing right here. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll be taking my leave. Bye bye.
Bye bye. I still think I won the debate. All right. I think I might finish stream soon. It was supposed to be a short stream, but you know. Thanks for the stream, Lucy. How do you feel? A bit cold, but I'm glad that I streamed. I was considering not streaming, but I was advised that maybe it could be a good idea to sort of, depending on how I feel. I haven't yet. I will. I haven't yet. I will admit I have not seen. I haven't been feeling very well physically lately because of the whole estrogen thing. I'm sorry. I will watch it though. It's a short video, I believe. I can call in and argue middle ground. Yeah, okay. If you can, you can call in next time. Are you in the Discord? Are you in the Giggle Cord Discord thing? Don't worry. Listen, glorious content. You have to know what you need to know about an Entropy fan is that they like to debate a lot. And my advice would be not to get roped too much into the debate. Okay? An Entropy fan is very combative and, I know. Believe me, I know. We got a waterfall test and then React video at supposedly series segments. Oh, what was the React to? To be fair, I think the theory bugs have not been collected. I mean, if it's a React to a theory video, there are some pretty good theory videos that one can react as a theory, I think. Theory doesn't need to be like just reading a book, right? It can be watching theoretical content, or it can be even discussing theory with somebody. You can have diversity of theory in how it's presented. I mean, I don't know. I haven't watched. I haven't seen. I've been here streaming. I haven't seen what President Sundy's been up to. Listen, sometimes President Sunday collects the theory box, does a thing on stream, and says, "Next time I will dedicate a lot to theory." That happens. I know that happens. Because sometimes it's not as easy to just stop something when you're in the middle of it. Or sometimes a person can even not be in the mindset of doing serious theory, in the mind state, if that makes sense. And then it's better to postpone, in my opinion, and do the theory when one's in a better state to actually deliver good theory, if that makes sense. I'm saying this like out of my, I don't know. I'm just saying that, but oh, what is the patterns on your drink? Damn, you don't know? Damn, I cannot believe you don't know. It's the Maryland flag. The flag of Maryland is on the drink. It's a comforter that is the Maryland flag. One part represents those who decided to stay with the North, and one part represents those who fled to the South and took this symbol with them, and then they were combined in a flag to symbolize the unity, the unity of different ideas. Why Maryland? Because it's the US in miniature. Okay? Maryland as a state is called the USA in miniature. And hence it's the best state. Thank you. And one of my favorite people in the world is from Maryland, Josie Rose. I don't know if you know Josie Rose. She used to be a lot more in the content creation space. And she was the first streamer that had me on to talk. Josie Rose was the first streamer that had me on to speak as a guest. Collaboration, if you will. If you will visit Baltimore, maybe. And hence, Maryland. I believe so. She often is on the, on the thing of, yeah, I think we're talking about the same person, yeah. It's just an elaborate story to cover up that Lucy again drinking Pepsi. Listen. It's okay. It's like a treat. Listen, my life is miserable right now. Cut me some slack. I don't have estrogen. I'm sad, cold, and emotional. My hormones are out of whack. And I'm very... What? Cursed? What? What did you do? What? Oh my god. What happened, Philip August? What did you get mad? What happened? Jesus. Don't get mad, Philip August. It's bad for your nerves. What's wrong with reading IRI? Well. Okay then. I guess I will finish stream. Oh. Well, sometimes Sith just happens. Okay, I'll see you, I don't know. I'm not sure when, but I will see you. All right, I'll see you, okay? Good night.